What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. We West Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut.
Coach JB.
Yeah.
Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop is
You are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
Gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so fast it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a wrap. We what the game's been missing, we switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gap. Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB show.
What up, man? Real Coach JB here for the Real Coach JB show with Big Smitty. We got a loaded lineup today, man. We got to break this thing down. It is Free Game Friday, and it is a loaded lineup. Dr. Jesse Morse will join us right out the gate as soon as he pops in to break down this Tua situation that I'm sure a lot of you want to hear about. Big Matt McChesney joins us. We're going to talk Colorado State, plus some NFL things, a little bit of quarterback play with him. Shaun King joins us as well to wrap the show, and Jeff Nadu blends us in the middle of this thing, talking all things betting from college football to the NFL. So we got a loaded show today. Don't miss it. Tap in, hit the like, subscribe, become a member, join our winnable.com/slap-picks today, and go get you on the first down package because we will have the best betting show as well on there. Plus, join my Patreon today, and I'll be doing all things film breakdown, and my personal bets will be on Patreon as well. So head on over there. But Sunday's NFL pregame show with Sean Salisbury, Jeff Nadu, and myself, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So join that show as well right here on this channel this Sunday, the realest NFL pregame show on Planet ERF. Let's get this party started, man. Unfortunately, I made a viral video years ago about Tua when he had a couple concussions. Take a look and watch this.
To be real, the whole entire Miami Dolphin organization should be fired. Owner, everybody. The NFL should be fined by an outside agency. Roger Goodell and the NFL player protocol, safety, protection, bullshit should be fucking fired and fined to the utmost limit of the law. That's a fucking travesty what just happened right now, and you'll be lucky if this motherfucker don't have traumatic long-term effects. And we want to protect the players by taking out kickoff and all this bullshit. But you can't fucking recognize the difference between a back injury and what happened last week like we're a bunch of fucking tards. And we don't understand that his head rocked off the ground last week. And you want to cover it up? Don't ever talk about the New England Patriots, motherfucker. This organization right here, after Flores and now this, is as shady as it comes. Real talk. Somebody needs to say it. Stop with that pussy ass hiding around behind the back shit. Tua just got fucked by your organization and the league. Real talk. Share this shit.
That was 2022. It had, I think, 30 million views across Instagram and Twitter. And then we see what we saw last night. Last year, 2023, he went unscathed. Didn't get really hurt anywhere near the head. He claimed that he lost weight and went to Tai Chi and Tai Bo and all these different things. But look, man, I blamed Roger Goodell in 2022 on that viral tweet in the NFL. Plus, the delusional average fan out here who thinks Tua was really, really good at some point. This Guardian helmet thing, this no hitting in practice thing, the elimination of hours on the field thing, the not being able to hit the quarterback thing has absolutely ruined Tua's career and so many more. Careers we will never see start and careers that we could have always wanted to see begin. We'll never see. This is why the quarterback in the NFL is so bad. This is why the product is so bad. We don't play this sport on a daily basis anymore like a game. Let me break it down for all you out here that don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about. We used to practice like we played. Hard, fast, and intentional. Listen to the word intentional. The word intentional should really be soaked in by the listeners right now. I'm just telling you. Intentional was a great thing. Violent intent was an even better word that I use, a better term that I use as a coach with my teams. And that violent intent was put everyone on notice. It made everyone aware. And it would have made Tua slide last night. Please let that sink in. Violent intent would have made Tua slide last night. Tua not sliding or the inability to slide is because there is no more violent intent at practice, no more violent intent in actual games, because we have protected the asset at an all-time high, only to see more money wasted and thrown down the drain. Make it make sense. We just paid this man $220 million not to slide, to possibly never play again due to the rules Roger Goodell and the union have created to so-called protect the players, yet they don't pay them after their careers end. They give them the worst health care pension of any sport. And yet we continue to listen to this guy because he hugs and daps the players as they get drafted on stage each and every April. Y'all think he's so fucking cool. The rules are a mockery, and they have ruined quarterback play. They have ruined this game and the future great quarterback and NFL player to be. Or they have ruined the one we will never get to see. Just let that sink in for all you out there that don't have a fucking clue what I mean. Bills dominate the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football, taking Josh Allen's record to even greater percentage versus Tua and the Dolphins. Tua takes a huge hit from Damar Hamlin, ironically enough, and sustains another concussion. We're going to dive into that. South Alabama scores most points by game by an FBS team since 1996, destroying Northwestern State 87-10. But football is just great, and it's not watered down. Don't listen to me at all. They had to shorten the fourth quarter to 6 minutes. I mean, dog, come on, man. When are you guys going to fucking realize this is a fucking joke? 6 minutes. So I've been in some blowouts. We never got our shit shortened. Are you fucking kidding me? You soft fucks, man. Anyway, the Rams head coach Sean McVay said that wide receiver Puka Nacua could end up missing more than minimum 4 weeks on IR. Arizona State takes out Texas State. But what does JB know? As I predicted yesterday on the road last night, they start off 3-0. Good friend of mine, Kenny Dillingham, shout out to you for going 3-0, building the program the right way. But before we begin, my co-host, Naptown legend, 317 Far East Side, LeBron hairline having, Lamar Jackson loving, AR5 defending, Ball State going, Caitlin Clark jocking, Fox Sports very own, Big Smitty.
What's going on this lovely, beautiful Friday? I'm so happy to be here. My amazing co-host, Coach JB. We got Bailey on the ones and twos, and the chat is popping. D. Jones, my biggest hater. I don't like the Jags. We got Gorhan Ninkowski, Little Bill, Nate Bradley, and TPB, and much more. And y'all know I'm rocking the Ball State Cardinal red and white on the pre-day before we upset and shock America. Miami, the U, Hurricane Nation, beware because the Cardinals are flying in town today. And tomorrow, we're going to shock the world. I'm wearing this all show, JB.
What helmet is that?
Stop playing with me.
What?
Chirp, chirp. Ball State Cardinals. Cardinal, white and black. Come on now.
Was that your helmet?
It's a helmet at Ball State, yes.
I was about to say it, because if it was your helmet, I would say
if it was my helmet, bro, it'd be dented up. You see bruises, it'd be the face mask would be broke because I was hitting shit so hard. This is for looks. This is a clean, non-used helmet. My helmet wouldn't work, JB, because it's too raggedy and ripped up and mud and turf and all types of shit in my helmet because I was getting busy.
You guys barely beat Missouri State though. It's like Colorado, man. You guys expected to beat Nebraska after barely beating North Dakota State.
Question for the fans. So somebody in the chat wanted to know what JUCO team did your team beat this weekend? Because I didn't hear about them at all on like the
I don't know. I'm not
bottom
there
of ESPN. I didn't even hear about them.
I don't know. I'm not there no more.
Okay, got you. I was just curious. It wasn't like a shot or nothing like that. I just didn't know because they don't really talk about like the JUCOs on like TV and stuff like that. So I just had no idea
I coached
who they
JUCO.
beat.
I played JUCO and coached it, but I also played too.
Yeah, I don't know if Indy. I don't know who they beat. I don't know. I don't even know where you went. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's okay. I just don't know.
It's kind of like the show in your takes. You don't do no research.
Right. You know.
So you didn't do no research on me. So that's on you. That's on you. It's your problem. But we could go check it out on Google if you want. Check it out.
Hey, forget all that. It's Friday, man. And David is starting off the Friday the right way, JB. Look at this. Never catch y'all live by listening daily. Just became a member. Appreciate you fellas supporting the real. Is that Sharon? Is that Sharon, Pennsylvania? Youngstown, Ohio area? What is that?
That's where they're eating cats. He's in that area. He's right in that area. By the way, it's true. Check it out.
Are hilarious.
Hey, no, you Mullins are. Let's check this thing out, man. We got a loaded lineup today. Dr. Jesse Morse gonna jump in when he can, right out the gate. Big Matt McChesney joins us. We haven't seen him all week. He's been in court. And then we got man. We got a lot going on. We got Big Jeff Nadu joining us, swapping times with Shaun King. And then you got Shaun King joining us to end the show, Smitty. So shout out to all those guys joining us today. We got a loaded lineup today, Smitty. We got a loaded discussion today, of course.
I can't wait. Your opening on Tua was great, and I can't wait to dive into that as well. Shout out to Bradley, man, for looking out, man. The show's starting off with a bang. We got almost $100 in here already.
No doubt. I can pay for gas now that I have to drive to the studio every day. Quote of the day brought to you by betonline.ag. Head on over there. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, and get you 50% off plus welcome bonus. Let's start it off, Smitty. This is my own quote, but nothing dramatic. Just I wanted you guys to understand something when I say this, because you guys have been watching this Tua situation and you've been seeing what's going on in the NFL. And you listen to Roger Goodell, but you don't watch Roger Goodell. So that's the quote of the day. Stop listening to someone's words and start watching their actions. I don't believe you guys do that enough. I don't think these guys do it enough, Smitty. I don't think we do it enough as society. I think we listen to their words, but we don't watch what they do after they say something. Roger Goodell's been saying the same shit, Smitty, for a long, long time, and yet we keep listening to his words, but we don't watch his actions. His actions don't marry up. His actions don't align with what he's been saying out of his fucking mouth. And I'm just telling you, it is a shame that we're seeing certain people like Tua and these other guys go through what they're going through. And it's because Roger Goodell, the rules, the union, and everyone that's involved in these rule changes have allowed for this. I truly believe it in my gut. And we'll dive into this deep. Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. Man, my Prize Picks, man. I can't do anything about injuries, dog. You know, Tua goes out. It affected one of my Prize Picks plays, and that obviously affected the second play, which was Waddle. So, you know, two of those guys right there. But listen, my Josh Allen pick was correct. My Cook pick was correct. Who else did I have on that pick? I had to look at it, but it was on its way to being fine. Oh, Shakir. Correct. So, I mean, I was on track, man. Tua got hurt. Nothing I could do. Contrary to belief. Don't blame a clown for acting like a clown. Blame yourself for going to the circus.
You took your time with that one. The quote of the day, I heard that before. That's kind of cliche. This one, though, right here, this is a Coach JB special. This right here is top 4 of all time. We just knocked something off the list. It went down. This is top 4. It might be top 3, but I'm going to say 4 just for safety because I don't have my list pulled up right now next week to be able to go through everything. Top 4 for sure. I like this. Don't blame a clown for acting like a clown. Blame yourself for going to the circus. Damn.
Blame yourself for listening to Roger Goodell about why Tua's injured, dog. I'm just telling you. You guys need to start fucking paying attention to this shit in more of a depth, in detailed approach because I'm just telling you right now, you guys keep fucking blaming the clown, man. I'm just telling you. Start blaming your goddamn self. Poll question. Everybody drop it in the chat too, and I want to dive into this with Smitty and dive into this whole thing because it ties into my quarterback takes for the last 4 years plus the unfortunate act last night. Poll question, Smitty. Tua should blank.
Damn.
Huh.
That's deep. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday, man, because me and her, we went out to the bar, we were eating and watching the game. And, you know, from a woman's perspective, she's like, instantly, Tua should retire. I said, man, they just paid him $200 million. She said, listen, $200 million ain't worth your life. And I was like, man, you right. And listen, we've all played the sport. We've all been concussed. We've all, either got diagnosed with a concussion or maybe you didn't even go get checked out. So we've been there. But the difference with Tua is for some reason, when he gets concussed, it's like times 4. He's stuck. Something is wrong with him neurologically, in my opinion. And I'm not a doctor, so I could be completely wrong. This is my opinion based upon what we've seen the last, two or so years. So because of that, man, and I hate to say it, but Tua should consider retirement. I'm going to say consider retirement. I don't want to be as bold to say he should just 100% retire because you worked so damn hard to get to this point. And, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what the medical situation is. But I think at this point, though, he has to strongly think and consider retirement because, I mean, are we going to wait until, God forbid, like knock on wood, this shit happens again and he doesn't get up? Like if that moment happens, like the league's gonna shut down. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we have the evidence time and time again that for whatever reason, this particular player, he gets head injuries very easily. If you get a big hit, everybody's like holding their breath. Every time Tua gets sacked now, every time he gets touched, because they're concerned that he may not get up. So I just think from his perspective, he's made a lot of money already. And I know Tua, you could tell Tua actually loves the game and wants to play. I understand all that. But at some point, though, you got to think about the long game, and you don't want a situation where you can't remember anything. He's young too, man. He's young. So I think he has to consider retirement. We've seen guys retire early because of, migraines and like just different head, situations. So it wouldn't be the first of his kind to retire early, but I think he has to consider it, JB.
Yeah, you got a helmet on, Smitty. It's ironic that you have it on. It's kind of an interesting take I want to take. I wish I had mine here, but so listen, I want you to. I don't know how you can do this, but I want you to put your head towards me, towards the screen a little bit, down like that. I want to be clear, so lift it up just a little, like that, Smitty. And I want you all to understand and listen to how we're going to do this. Last night was not a hit. This kid got a concussion from a tackle around the neck and head by arms. Hamlin hit him with his arms and tackled his head where Smitty is right now. That's not a hit, by the way. It's not a helmet-to-helmet. That's not a big-time, unbelievable hit. Just like there. Smitty, if you could look up and see and look at his head position, and then I want you kind of just to drop yours like yours. Basically, what Smitty did is, and Hamlin just wrapped him with his arm. And he wrapped his neck with his arm, similar to this, and we got a concussion from it because it's all connected to his neurological, his spine, his neck, his brain, all connected through one thing. And I'm just telling you, that should not be a concussion. He is a mush-brained person at this point. I do not want to see a Junior Seau or a situation like that happen. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying that the NFL, like my video 2 years ago that is proving to be right now, should be held accountable, A. And B, should actually sit them down and say, we can't allow you to play. Not, at least for not this year. There's just no way that the NFL, who puts players in harm's way every day by the new rules that they've created, in my opinion, I truly believe this is why they are fucking bad at the quarterback position. You see quarterbacks take advantage of not being hit. You see Patrick Mahomes run out of bounds an extra 3 steps because he sees the linebacker already stop running. They're taking full advantage. I've been telling you guys this for years. It's a mockery. It's a joke. Quarterbacks don't fear anyone anymore, so it's harder for their brain to trigger them into a sliding position. As you saw last night, he didn't slide because he's usually expected not to get hit whatsoever, Smitty. How many times have you seen quarterbacks do the fake slide or just kind of roll down, and players on defense, hurdle over them, right?
Yep.
They jump over them. They run by them. They don't even touch them.
Yep.
So this is what I'm trying to say. When you come down to the bottom line, 2 years ago video that I had all those millions of views, because, dog, you set this up, Roger Goodell. You created this. You've allowed this. And when you took away kickoff and you've taken away these rules, it by subconscious, it makes us be lax. It makes us not play with our head on a swivel, Smitty. It makes us practice bad habits, Smitty. You can't practice this game playing like it's flag football, or you might as well put flags on them. It makes zero sense, which they've done, ironically, in the Pro Bowl. I don't understand why you guys can't see through shit. This shit is the rules. Smitty, this game was a gladiator sport. That's what it was. It was different. It's not contact sport. It is called a collision sport. There's only 2 of them in the world: football and rugby. Period. NASCAR driving used to be, and they took it out by classification. But I used to talk about this all the time. But collision sports are not contact sports. Basketball is contact sport. Believe it or not, baseball is a contact sport. Tennis is non-contact. I just want to give you guys the clarity on what's going on.
Yeah.
Football is collision. That means we're running 20 miles an hour and we hit each other and it could possibly ring our bell, right? That's what we do. That's why we practice what we practice. That's
what we sign up for, too.
We signed up for it. We used to tackle with our head up, eyes up, see what you hit, run your feet, get your shoulder on the right side, your head on the right side of your shoulder, blah, 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 blah. We used to teach it. We taught it, Smitty. It was a car crash waiting to happen. Kickoff and kickoff return was reckless abandonment. We wanted killers. We used to interview guys to go down on kickoff. What we wanted from them. They were different than regular players, Smitty. Let's be honest. Wedge breakers were different than regular players. We interviewed motherfuckers to be a wedge breaker.
Yeah.
Hey, now you want to be a wedge buster? Hell yeah, Coach. I'm not. Motherfucker, look at you like
crazy.
Hey, Coach, I had a kid one day. No shit. I had a kid tell me, hell yeah, Coach. This motherfucker was. I thought he was coked up. Hell yeah, Coach. But listen, I don't go to class. And I said, excuse me, son. I don't go to class though, Coach, but I'll break heads for your ass. I go, get over here privately. Come over here and talk to me. That motherfucker, shit. I don't know if he ever attended the class, but that motherfucker wrecked shot for me on special teams. I didn't give a fuck if he attended the class or not, but guess what? I graduated that motherfucker. That was on me. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. I can tell you those stories all day long. Let me tell you something. Those cats are different. They're not wired correctly. Nowadays, we've taken that out. And guess what, Smitty? You can't tell me that everybody on that field didn't know about that crazy motherfucker running downfield on kickoff.
JB, we used to like be fans though. Like we used to watch and like, watch this motherfucker now. Watch Shaun. He about to go down there and blow this motherfucker up. And every time we go down there and sacrifice himself.
But by the way, all of us knew that motherfucker was on the field, right?
Yes.
And nobody was going to nonchalantly not slide like Tua did last night, because that is what created us walking on pins and fucking needles. We were always with our head on a swivel on the football field because we practiced it every day. We played the game, Smitty, like it was a game at practice. We went good versus good, inside run, tackle drills. We practiced 4 days a week like it was a game. Go look at practice now at every level. It's a mockery. There's 30 cats on the sideline watching. The other 3 are out there with Guardian helmets on. We're in shimmos and shorts. We don't fucking hit. You can't tell me you're going to go out and play a violent game when you walk around in fucking diapers every day. It just doesn't make sense, homie. And cats keep blaming everybody else but the rule creator, the rule makers, and the rule changers. Why aren't we creating and talking discussion about them? Ignorance is life-threatening, homie. And I think we're putting people's lives at risk. I'm just telling you right now. Tua's life's been at risk, and it was a two-year ago video I made. And it's proven right. I hate to be right on this one. Honestly, I am. But it's the truth. And I said it 2 years ago. This is the problem. You can't expect this game to be safe, Smitty. You can't expect it to be safe. But you definitely can't expect it to be safe when we're taking away the actual act of the game every day at practice. We're eliminating hours. Can't be on the facility. Can't do this. We got a guy right out the gate, man. We got to bring in right out the gate, Bailey. Let's bring him in. He's busy, man. Dr. Jesse Morse joins us on a special Friday. Doc, Jesse Morse, how you doing, brother? I appreciate
you doing, Doc?
I'm doing good. I wish I was wearing a helmet.
Hey, let us have it, man. I started this whole show off with this whole thing. I had a video 2 years ago, have 30 million views, when I went in on the NFL and Roger Goodell about doing what he's been doing and what created this right here. That was 2 years ago after his second injury. Then 23, he had no injuries. He lost weight. He went into Tai Chi, Tai Bo, whatever. And then last night, I blame this strictly on the rules right here, not anything else, because we don't walk on eggshells anymore, Doc. We don't practice like we play anymore. And nobody's scared. And quarterbacks know every day they don't get hit like that. So they think guys are going to jump over them right there and hurdle over them right there. I just think Roger Goodell and the committees have created this. But just dive into what you told me last night, what you think going on, and what your professional opinion on Tua, and not only injury-wise, but what you think he should do.
So when you look at this, first of all, he was playing awful before that, but that's kind of a moot point at this point.
That's who he is.
Yeah. When he made the decision to run the first down, it was 4th and 4, whatever it was, on like the 10, so it made sense. And I wouldn't say lowered his head, but he ran he caused more trauma. Like, Hamlin didn't even try to tackle him. He basically just stood in front of him. The irony that was DeMar Hamlin is kind of crazy. I know. But nonetheless, that was Tua's doing. That wasn't Hamlin's. It's not like Hamlin ran into him. And, if Hamlin wasn't there, I don't think Tua would have sustained a concussion. It was the nature of the angle of his head and neck. But at the same time, it wasn't really a lot of force.
No,
it wasn't.
Right? It was just a perfect storm. But this is what we see in people who sustain recurrent concussions. Your what we call threshold for sustaining a concussion is lower. So if it takes someone up here to sustain a concussion, it may take Tua here. So if he sustains hip, boom, concussion. And he may have weak ligaments in his neck, so they can't handle that force. So automatically it translates to the brain. Then you saw him, what we call fence, kind of that right arm again, which is a distorted posturing. And we saw this 2 years ago on 9/29. I tweeted about it because you could see it. Remember when he had kind of the hands up thing? Yeah. That was also on a Thursday night. That was also 4 days after playing on a Sunday. And on Sunday, remember they had that one that they called a back injury and they allowed him to return. Remember that?
Yep.
That was my video. That was the video I made, yeah.
And then 4 days later, he had that crazy one and he missed 2 games. And then he was okay for we'll call it 5 games. I don't know how much it was. Then he suffered another one on Christmas that ended his season, and he didn't get cleared until February of 23, I guess it would be. And then he did all of his judo and jiu-jitsu and gained weight and had a good year last year. The Dolphins were obviously worried about this. They executed his 5th-year option and said, hey, basically stay, in my opinion, stay healthy and prove you can be elite in 23. And then they signed the big bag this year. But that risk didn't go down.
No.
You know, he got lucky or was smart where he was very cautious last year. Maybe he let his guard down this year because he didn't focus on it, because he didn't get one last year. He's like, you know, I must be pretty good. Unfortunately, the brain doesn't forget.
Right.
And now you have several different scenarios in play here. First of all, you only sustain posturing, usually almost always during a level of unconsciousness. But you only sustain unconsciousness in about 11% of concussions. So it's not that much. And this is his 2nd time. So obviously he's predisposed to doing this. And it's not like, you know, this was a kickoff return and he was running full force at someone. The dude was probably running 10 miles an hour.
That's a regular,
regular
yeah,
hit.
it's not a lot of impact at all.
No, I mean, Hammond literally caught him. So it's like, it's not like he even ran into him. So this wasn't a lot of force. And another question that I asked myself is, why is he not wearing a guardian cap? I know they look stupid, but if you're that high risk, even if it helps 10%, I mean, if you can prevent another concussion, you know, I usually tell this to my brain patients: you can replace your knee, you can't replace your brain. And let's think about situationally where he was mentally and I guess socially 2 years ago versus now. I don't think he had been married yet. Obviously, I think he still had 2 kids, but maybe they were still young. He hadn't secured the bag, even though he had more than most of us will ever see. Now he's married. He's got multiple kids. He got what, 167 million, whatever the price is of guaranteed money. Where do you go here? The problem. Then the next question becomes: do the docs clear him? That's on them, right? That's my
Doc,
mentor
would
is the team
you,
doc.
if you was in Miami right now as the doctor, would you clear him after what all you've seen?
Because, Doc, I know you're hesitant, because tell people why you're hesitant, because there's a lot of things involved in this, right? A lot of corporate money, a lot of pressure from corporate entities.
So remember who the team docs work for. It's part of the reason why I'm not a team doc.
Yeah.
There's other factors to it, but remember, at the end of the day, the team doc works for the owner. That's it. At the end, I know you want to say, yeah, he works for the players. The players don't pay him. The owner
just forked over $220. That owner just forked over $220 to that man, and now you're going to tell him he's done. Well, I just lost.
A separate topic for a separate day. I've heard some crazy stories about players' money to the team doc and getting them back on the field, and I'm sure you guys have as well.
Oh yeah.
So whether that's and obviously that's just part of the game, or it used to be. But at the same time, they're going to say, okay, you have their goal is to say he's cleared the current concussion symptoms. That's not going to be today. That's going to be days to weeks down the road, if not longer. Then the question becomes, is he back to baseline Tua? Yesterday morning, we'll call it. Then that should be enough to clear him from the protocol. But that's a separate discussion of whether or not he should return. Right? That's just saying you cleared the protocol. Okay, you are no longer in the concussion protocol. You can run, you can get your heart rate up without having new symptoms.
And
it's a 5-step, 5-day protocol. That's the fastest you can do, and technically in the NFL if you follow the guidelines. So at the minimum, he needs at least 5 days.
Just for clarity and context, after 22 season ended, he got hurt at the end of that year, I think Christmas or whatever.
Christmas, yeah.
He wasn't cleared, from what I'm reading, until March 30th of
I don't know if I have to look at it. I have it down as February, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was March. But nonetheless, that is very long.
So
85% of NFL concussions either miss 0 or 1 game. That means they get cleared within basically 10 days, right?
Right.
You have very few guys that have retired from concussions. Jordan Reed is probably the only one that comes to mind. I'm sure there's others, but he was probably the most famous. It's not common, but you have to think about what this is collectively doing to your brain. If every hit is leading to more dementia, whether it's now or 10 years or 20 years from now, is it really worth the risk? Some people would say yes. But you
gotta think about that. Yeah.
And then the other question becomes, even if they clear him, meaning that he's no longer in the protocol, do they allow him to come back?
The NFL,
right? And that's the moral dilemma right there. I know, Ross maybe wants it financially, best interest of the team, but at some point, the NFLPA and whoever the powers that be need to step up and say, maybe Stills, Dr. Stills, I think his name is, needs to look at this and say, you know what, like, there isn't a specific guideline to say this number of concussions, you can't play anymore. And it's ultimately going to be up to Tua. But the question becomes, can the medical staff say it is in our best interest to not medically clear you to return, even if you have cleared the protocol? I don't know what that looks like.
So
maybe
Doc,
it's going to take some pressure from the public or whatever you want to call it.
So a question for me, and you, and apologize if you already kind of said this. I just want to get some clarity. So, is it possible, or are humans sometimes, are people born with, I guess, deficiencies per se, to where like you're more susceptible to this type of injury, or are you just saying that once you get a concussion, once you get your first concussion, now at that point you are just more susceptible to a repeat of that action?
Both.
Ooh, okay.
There is a genetic variant that your brainstem is born or sits lower in your canal, and you are more susceptible to concussions. Obviously, I don't know if he has this. I need to see an MRI. Whether or not he has that is just more icing. But every concussion is a higher risk for a new concussion. And the data, it's not really pretty, but it's there. He is technically at increased risk for another concussion. I think it's 7x over the next 90 days, which is basically the rest of the season, or at least the regular season. If I was his doc, I mean, and he probably lives 20 minutes north of me. I'm in Miami. He should be doing hyperbaric chamber, hard chamber daily, hour and a half. He should be doing something called IV methylene blue. That's something I do in my clinic for my brain patients. And he should be doing a bunch of other stuff. Do we need to evaluate his neck? Are the ligaments of his neck so weak and unstable that he can't sustain a force without that neck translating that energy to the brain, which then translates to a concussion? So there's other things that maybe traditional medicine, I know traditional medicine doesn't look at, but at this point you need to step back and look at all the options, because this is kind of the face of the franchise, whether or not you want to agree, with it should be. But Tua was pretty much, or Tyreek was pretty much irrelevant last night. Yeah. Waddle was pretty much irrelevant last night. They basically gave the ball to Achane 29 times, which is way more than he's ever had, by 7, I think, coming off of an ankle injury, which is kind of ironic. But Tua looked awful before this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he literally threw a ball mid-air and dude just caught it and like ran it in like it was like they were just playing, in the backyard.
He is bad, bro.
Yeah. Like, and whether it's maybe the Bills just have their number and we've seen the data on that, that's pretty obvious. But nonetheless, it's like, it's tough. He's probably the best quarterback, at least they have on the roster for this team. But now you have to step back and say, I don't know if it's in his best interest to return and retire. Like, Doc, you can be an amazing broadcaster. You can go chill with your family in Hawaii, like whatever you want to do. It's probably not in your best interest to take contact hits weekly.
Doc, I started the show off with a poll question, and I just said, real simply, I said, Tua should blank. What would you fill that blank in with?
In my opinion, retire.
Woo!
Really?
I mean,
not a year off, not.
We saw him basically take a year off. What happened?
I know.
He didn't suffer one last year.
You've seen Deshaun
His
Watson.
wrist didn't go down.
No, it doesn't go down.
You know, and think about it. This is, I won't call it a true subconcussive blow, but this wasn't exactly a big hit.
No.
You know, it's not like the ground was frozen. It's 85 degrees here.
And Doc, explain that real quick. And I appreciate you coming on. Explain the big hit possibility, or explain the big hit that you just used. This is what they don't get. It wasn't a big hit, and he still got the same thing that he would have got with a big hit.
So imagine when he does get a big hit.
Correct.
Well, it's just what Doc's point is. He's going to get a concussion by a guy breathing on him in the future. Like, this is not going to.
His threshold for a concussion and a seizure, for that matter, is really low. Right? And furthermore, I'm going to scare you all on purpose. There's something called second impact syndrome. Okay, you may have heard of this. If you haven't, you can Google it. What this means is that if a person comes back and suffers a new head injury before the first one has cleared, the brainstem can swell and you die immediately. It's rare for obvious reasons, but it's real.
That's why they make us in college go through a protocol, right? Concussion
Correct.
protocol, and you got to.
Remember now, back when you guys were there, you know, there wasn't really much of a protocol. You know, I'm good. You got your bell rung. It's a lot stricter now, even though, you know, they have guys calling from the stands and, you know, docs checking everything, you know, but nonetheless, like, and when I said subconcussive blow, that usually insinuates a lineman running into another lineman at very close proximity. Those micro hits can lead to technically to little concussions, but it's usually not dramatic like Tua's. What I'm saying is that was similar to Tua's situation, but he wasn't a lineman running into a lineman that was 12 inches away. He was kind of running maybe 10 or 15 at the most into a player that was basically just standing there and catching him. He almost basically caught him. So what happens if he gets sacked and his head hits the turf and you're playing in Buffalo or you're playing in any cold weather city where the ground is like concrete, or you're playing on turf, which means the ground is concrete. So it's like,
scary.
You know, there's all these different things that you have to think of. There's no easy answer here. It's just shades of gray. And whatever his decision is, we have to respect it. But at the same time, I don't know. This is tough. You know, there's tons of other injuries to talk about, but this is obviously kind of the most important.
Yeah, Doc, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I just think all the rules have set this up. The players going forward and the players that we may never see and the players that we only hope to see because of these rules. These rules have made it this way, in my opinion, and I don't know. I don't know how you continue to play like this. Junior Seau, Steve Young, Troy Aikman. Unfortunately, Steve Young and Troy Aikman got at least ahead of the game and said, you know what, I can't take another hit. And they played long enough. God willing allowed them. Yeah. They actually got enough, you know, played long enough. These guys are getting paid bags and not even playing a quarter of what those guys played, or even worth, you know, even being half as good. So, I mean, it's interesting. Doc, any real quick as you walk out of here and go to work, any injuries you want us to know about going into the weekend in the NFL?
So I still think we're up in the air with McCaffrey.
Oh,
I know he says he wants to play. He is at risk for rupturing that Achilles. It may only be 10%, or, you know, I haven't evaluated him, so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it is there, right? It's there. It's realistic. And we saw what Shanahan's system can do for pretty much any running back, or not any running back, but like you just took an undrafted free agent
Jordan Mason,
who was like, that's like Shanahan special right there, right? From what, Georgia Tech, I think he went to. That's his third year in the league, I want to say. And dude just ran over people.
That's why Shanahan's a top 3, top 5 head coach in this league today.
So it's like, okay, if you didn't have anyone, if you were, you know, at the end of the season and you need to get the momentum, okay, I see that. It's week 2, and they just proved your backup was legit, or at least serviceable. Do they risk him? Do they take the decision out of his hand? How bad is it? Is it the calf? Is it the Achilles? Is it the combination of both? You know? So that's a decision we don't know. I think they'll probably tell us on Sunday, which sucks, but that's better than Monday. Some other guys. I think Russell Wilson sits. Last night he admitted, or in an interview with Caboli, the Steelers beat writer, that his original calf strain was much worse.
Okay, I saw your tweet. Can you dive into what that would mean?
Yeah, so calf strains suck. They're awful. They are awful. They're so freaking frustrating. They have a very poor blood supply. They re-injure really easily. The gastroc, which is the one that you can see on the outside, is the problem with this is that you need it for running, right? Your soleus is used for standing, what I'm doing now. But my gastroc is when I start running. So that's why the gastroc's usually injured. When you have a grade 1 or a grade 2, that takes 4 to 6 weeks if it's a grade 2. He tweaked it again, 10 days ago or so? If he runs and tries to escape the pocket, which is almost inevitable, he's at probably 50% chance of re-injury. Like, it's really high. If this was the end of the season, okay, I could justify playing it.
So
but
Justin
not,
Fields
you
could
just
be
showed that Justin can win.
Justin could be the starter going for a long time.
You know, it may not be pretty per se, but they've shown that they can win ugly, and that's okay. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, Allen didn't do a whole lot last night. He didn't really need to. He probably could have did more if he had to. Lamar is sore, but he'll be fine. And then for Joey Burrow, we'll have to figure out if this hand thing is legit. You saw him kind of doing this on the sidelines. It may just be him getting used to it. I don't know. And then there's a couple of running backs that I think are really risky of missing this week. Kenneth Walker, a very good chance he misses with an oblique, which is this muscle. He missed 2 games last year. Don't know if it's the same side, opposite side. I know he said he was good after the game, but DMP times 2 isn't exactly promising. And then Jordan Addison's probably going to miss with his ankle. He's up an ankle on the other side. I think Keenan Allen plays with his heel, but I think Rome Odunze misses with his MCL, justifiably so. Hollywood's going to be out again this week because his SC joint is just not ready, and that's okay. And then we'll see Ferguson probably miss. Njoku's already been ruled out. And there's several other guys that have the possibility of missing. I think T. Higgins is pretty much all for out right now, unfortunately, because that would have been a good matchup or a better matchup with him in. There's other guys that are banged up, but those are the main ones that come to my head without looking at my sheet.
Hey, Doc, real quick, Nacua, they put him on injury reserve 4 weeks. And McVay came out last night and said he could possibly miss longer. How serious? What is this injury, and how serious really is it?
You happen to be in my room that I talk about knees, so here we go.
Ooh, break it down. Here we go.
Front of the knee, ACL, PCL crisscross. In the back is where they attach. PCL is responsible for preventing the knee from collapsing. So when you have a PCL sprain, which is what Puka has and had at the beginning, he tweaked it again in week 1. And if you catch the sideline view, the aerial view of his knee, it's like twice the size of his other knee. It's super swollen, and that's likely with wrap on it. So why? Because he ran into the ground, knee bent. That's how you do it. That's how you flex it. That's what happened to Lamar a couple of years ago, and that's why he never returned. The problem with this injury is that the knee sags. So this goes down. And you think of this as being super unstable. So what happens is when you're running, you can't control the movements of your knee. So think if you want to run and cut, the knee might go that way, but you're trying to go that way. So I usually describe it as almost like you're sitting on a bar stool and 2 of the legs are really loose. You're like you have no idea which way it's going to go because of how big that PCL ligament is. It's like your thumb. It's huge, but that prevents that motion. So what can happen is you really have to tighten it up, but usually it's not a surgery thing. I personally inject stem cells and it works great. It just doesn't work overnight. It takes time, and then you have to rehab it back together. This wasn't a mild grade 1. Guys can relatively function with a grade 1. This has to be a grade 2 or maybe even almost a 3, which means it's basically not there anymore. Long story short, I'll be impressed if he returns by week 6, and I will go on a record saying he won't be the same until at least 2025.
Damn. Sorry, JB. You know, JB's a big Rounds fan. Had high hopes for them this
it's
year.
It's just the nature of the injury. It's just like even when it's better, it takes one knee to the ground and he's going to tweak it again. And he needs to be precise, right? He has to go down, stop on a dime, and cut. With a frustrating PCL injury, you can't do it. It's just you can't do that, and that's
Doc,
what
they don't even practice either no more. Like these guys don't even fucking practice. They don't hit. They don't do it. And we got more injuries than we've ever seen. I know you cover more injuries than we've probably ever talked about. It's unbelievable.
Let me ask you this, JB. This particular injury, though, I don't think this has anything to do with like, if he would have been practicing and going through the rigor, this wouldn't have happened. This is a situation based upon what Doc just educated us on. He just fell on his knee in a weird way. I don't think you can really avoid that.
I tweeted this. I actually screenshotted it about a month ago when McVay said, "Hey, he just injured his bursa sac, I think is what they called it, and no structural damage." Well, he admitted last week that he re-injured the ligament from early in the season, which means he was lying initially, and they confirmed it was a PCL. So you can call a bursa sac whatever you want. We have plenty of them on our knee, and they're not a big deal. They're annoying, but they're not a big deal. That's not a week-to-week thing and miss 3 weeks of preseason. That's why you have to kind of read between the lines and say, does the injury that they're discussing correlate with A, the video, and B, the timeline? And it didn't. And that's how I knew it was more concerning, and that's why I was down on Puka, because this was a high-risk re-injury. And we saw it in week 1. He didn't even get through week 1.
That's why I disagree with Smitty, because I just think if you're cutting, you're practicing, you may not be strengthening it, Doc. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but at least you're creating a rigor and a callus on developing. Okay, I'm in and out of cuts. I do this daily. My body and my mind now work on the same unit. And I've never seen guys miss so much and then miss and get hurt.
I'll agree with you there, because we'll take a step further. If he injured this in, say, OTAs,
right,
and then got back in week 1 of preseason and was able to do the whole month, whether he played or just in practice, his odds of re-injuring it are much lower. The fact that he basically didn't practice for more than a week and really didn't go hard until game 1, he was at a much higher risk just given the timing of it. Similar to what happened to Russell Wilson, similar to what happened last year to Cooper Kupp, and what happened to Stafford or Burrow and his calf. Yeah. Remember, he tweaked it early, didn't really get to practice, tweaked it again in week 1. It wasn't really good until like week 6 or whatever it was. So like that, sometimes it's about timing. And he just didn't get the reps he needed to get that PCL in good shape, where it could handle another hit that, maybe a month later wouldn't have really done a whole lot. But he didn't have enough time to heal it.
Hey, Doc, as you leave here, one of my former players, I'm just going to ask because he played for me. He's a slapdick, but Sidney Brown and Isaiah Rodgers, any update on those 2 corners or DBs for the Eagles, shitty-ass Eagles? I
haven't gone deep dive into many of the.
Is that because nobody? You think because nobody probably cares about that team or those guys? Probably.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just.
I'll say it.
It has nothing to do with that.
Maybe the what Eagles? I'm sorry, Doc. The what Eagles?
Shitty Eagles.
So part of it is because there's so many offensive injuries. I don't have time for defensive injuries. And the other thing is that game was in Brazil. Jordan Love kind of overrode that script. Josh Jacobs is dealing with a back injury, so that kind of overrode it a little bit. Marshawn Lloyd didn't play. That was another part. And the Eagles were healthy, or at least collectively. Now they're playing on Monday night, so again, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. And, there's so many injuries. I can't keep track of all of them, and I definitely can't keep track of the defensive ones. So
Doc, that's crazy how you say that. See how you said that, though? It's crazy how you said that. Like, back in the day, you and I would sit there and be like, all right, so Johnny's out this week, and Freddie, you knew who's out. Nowadays, it's like, fuck, there's a million guys.
Nah, that's not the reason. No, that's not what he's saying. Don't twist and turn his word. He's just saying, in general, you can't keep up with all 32 teams, every single injury on every single team, every day. That's all he's saying. Don't do that.
Okay, remember that some people just cover one team.
Yeah,
I cover all 32, and I cover all the offensive players, at least from a fantasy perspective. So,
I don't know what Smitty's talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
It, Doc.
My injury reel is about 60 to 90 players on average. Yeah. It's already at 60, and we're only in week 1.5. And those aren't the ones that are on IR, and those are no defensive players or linemen, right?
Doc,
So
real quick, important player going forward, Jordan Love. Where you at with him? Because I've heard that rumors that he can play right now if he wanted, if he had to, but I'm sure he's not.
Unless the Packers medical staff has done a dramatic 360 or 180, I should say, in terms of how aggressive they are, which because they're super conservative. There's no way he plays in week 2, and I would even vague to say week 3. I think a lot of their decision, and it shouldn't be, is on the performance of Willis. Unfortunately, if they end up going 0-3, can they make the Super Bowl? You got a lot tougher road going 0-3, but you compromising your franchise quarterback because you want to play him a week early. And I'll end with this.
Well, you just paid.
He has a PCL sprain, probably a little bone bruise, maybe a little meniscal injury. But here, model again. He sprained this. This is the inside of the knee. Where do we get tackled? Almost always on the outside. The inside, the other knee's on the inside, right? So if he runs, which he does a little bit, not a whole lot, he's going to get tackled on the outside, and what's going to happen? That's going to get sprained again. But what people need to understand is this MCL deeply attaches to the meniscus, which is the blue part. The other thing that this protects is the ACL.
Woo!
That's what happened to Cooper Kupp several years ago. Remember when he sprained his knee 2-3 weeks later, he came back and then tore his ACL in the next game or first game? That's because his knee wasn't ready. He suffered a hit to the weak part. The weak part gave out and also gave out the ACL. So the MCL is a protector of not only the meniscus, but also the ACL. So if Love returns too quickly, he's risking his ACL. And we've seen how substantial that has been to Daniel Jones, to Joe Burrow to an extent, Kyler Murray. Brady had one way back in the day. So in general, it's just too risky for one game. Like I get they're not going to want to put him on IR, but at least give him 2 weeks. Like at least give me 2 weeks and maybe put him in a brace. Like,
it's gonna be it's going to be interesting. I just sent you the password, Smitty, on text. That's going to be interesting, Doc. It's going to be a lot of injuries this year. Unfortunately, I see you being a really, really busy man this year. And shout out to you, man. Your Twitter and your IG's blowing up. You're getting that going on TikTok as well. Follow Doc Jesse Morse. We got almost 4,000 people in here. Make sure you follow Dr. Jesse Morse every day because you get the real, not only a real dude, but you get actual accurate information. So. Doc, man, good luck to you. And hey, fantasy play of the weekend for you, real quick. Give everybody a bet. One fantasy play of the weekend.
Rashee Rice.
Oh.
I'll give you a couple.
Well, shit, he can hit people on the car and still play, so fuck it.
CeeDee Lamb without Marshawn Lattimore, even though they have a really good secondary. Amon Rock could come back and have a monster performance. Brees and Bijan could put up stupid numbers this week. We might see Cooper Kupp drop 40 fantasy wise.
Yeah,
assuming he stays
healthy. He's in shape. He was dying the other day at the end of that game.
If he can stay healthy, right? If he stays healthy and does what he should do, he's going to drop like 40, legit. I love that. I just see what Jaden Daniels does.
Yeah.
We saw Anthony Richardson do bananas with 9 completions. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like the dude averaged, I think it was like 3 fantasy points per completion.
Yeah.
Think about that statement.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I expect him to be the worst fantasy play this week. Doc, we love you, man. Appreciate you. We'll see you next Tuesday with all the updated injuries over the weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Guys. All right, brother.
Have a good one.
Peace. Man, let's get right into it. We'll roll right into our next guest. We got a loaded lineup today on this Friday, free game Friday, fearless Friday, whatever you want to call it Friday. A guy we've missed all week long. He's been busy running his own thing. Make sure you can find him and Bailey every day on 0 to 60 pod. Big Matt McChesney joins the show. We ain't seen Matt all week. Matt, welcome back. Appreciate you joining us.
Good morning.
What up? We've talked privately over the week, and I know you're dealing with a bunch of shit. I've dealt with that same shit, so I get it. I know how it is.
Family court is super awesome.
Yeah, anything that bleeds once a month and don't die, though, is a special human anyway. But anyway, What? Oh, sorry. I didn't know I said that. Anyway.
My dad used to say that shit all the time.
Oh, yeah, I learned that from my dad. Smitty don't like to hear that. He's pro woman.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
What's
going on, man? How you doing?
When you look away, we know you're upset.
He doesn't.
I heard a noise in my apartment. I'm in the hood still, Matt. I heard somebody look to the side. That's all it was.
Smitty, look at another man in the face and the eyes, homie.
First of all, shout out to the Wu-Tang. Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. See, JB don't know nothing about that right there, Matt. He didn't even see the shirt. He didn't even peep the shirt. I saw it though, Matt. I'm giving you flowers.
No, I already knew about the shirt. I was addressing the guest. Let me dive into this whole NFL.
Good to hear your two voices again, by the way.
JB's professional now, I guess, man. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm a very professional host. Let me dive into this injury last night in Tua. We just had Doc on for this, and I started the show off with it. It's disgusting. I did a video 2 years ago that went viral. It got 30 million views when he got hurt the second time, 5 days after they said he hurt his back. Remember that, Matt? 2022.
I remember that.
He hurt his back, and then that game happened on a Thursday night. I'm sitting outside smoking a stick. When the sun was actually the sun and we didn't have cloud seeding and all in Kamala. And I was like, listen, this is what we got to do. And Roger Goodell should be held accountable. And Matt, it went viral and I had all these different crazy people hit me up and I got unfollowed by some and followed by others. You know how that goes. So I don't understand, Matt, former player yourself. I talked to Weddle and Sean King and Tank Johnson and Sean Salisbury. These motherfuckers don't care about these dudes, and yet we want to continue to push safety, player safety. You cannot be safe, Matt, in this game, A, regardless. We signed up to play. B, though, you can't take away practice, take away hours, take away hitting, take away everything that you've taken away from kickoff, wedge breaking to hitting the quarterback on a daily basis and expect them not to do what we saw last night, a half-ass slide because he expected a guy to jump over him and not hit him because he's so protected in this league. And I believe that is why they're getting hurt at an all-time rate. And that is not a big-time hit, Matt. You and I know that is a neck tackle by a guy that also, possibly whatever happened to him that night. This is what I don't understand. This guy got hit by a neck tackle and is mush already. And this to me is a setup for a disaster. And I don't know, Matt, if I were to ask you, Matt, real quick, Tua should blank. What would your answer be? Damn.
Like you're going to die on the field, dog. Like every time he gets hit, he goes out. And he initiated the contact in this.
Because we don't know. We don't teach anything in practice anymore. We don't slide.
What the fuck? The quarterbacks are all told to slide, and he's supposedly a pretty smart dude who just got broke off a ton of money, and good for him because you know what? The game is 1,000% injury risk, and these guys need to be paid accordingly. But if you're going to lead with your head and you're the quarterback, this is what's going to happen because everybody on the field, with the exception of Hamlin, maybe, is trying to absolutely knock the fuck out of him. Period. Yeah. I mean, you heard what David Long said in the middle of the broadcast last night. I heard him on TV yell at Josh Allen, "You better slide, motherfucker. I'm going to knock you out." Yeah, so, don't get it twisted. This is still a game for savages, and we like that, and this is what it is. But it's at some point when this keeps happening, dog, Tua, if they play Tua again this year, I already think the Miami Dolphins are maybe the most corrupt organization in the NFL. The way they treat when I played for them, the way they treat their players, okay? We're playing a game against Seattle, all right? I'm playing guard. It's 4th down. We get the first down. The play's over. Somebody rolls into my knee, and I tear my MCL, my meniscus, just standing there, right? My dumb ass standing around the pile. Play the rest of the game, come back in the next day, start getting treatment. Yeah, we're good. This is fine. Maybe miss a week, but we'll get you back on the field. I practice all week because I don't want to lose my job, taping up my knee and taking shots and pills and all this other shit. I can barely move, but I'm trying. All for them to bring me in the day before the fucking game when we play the Raiders and injury waive me. And this is what they say. Oh, we don't have room for hurt guys on this team. So that's the culture there, bro. They are going to just run dudes out until they break, or when you're broken, they are going to just get rid of your ass like a piece of trash. And I personally believe that the Miami Dolphins are complicit here. They're complicit in all this bullshit. They're complicit in what happened with Hill and Campbell for fucking allowing that shit to happen. Like, you're the Miami Dolphins, bro. You can't, the road leading to your stadium, everybody's speeding down, and this didn't happen before Tyreek Hill. Guaranteed it happened before. That's why there's 19 cops sitting there. So this whole situation with Tua is bad. It looks bad on the NFL. All this, the fucking caps that they wear and all this safe shit, it's all fucking propaganda. There is no safe football. It's just not happening. So why are they pussifying the game so much if it's not safe either way? Why can't look? I know what I signed up for. I like hitting motherfuckers. I didn't mind getting hit. I'm in it for the physicality. We've got guys in it now for the money. And they're not just like, I listened to Lawrence Taylor say something the other day, like, I was just in it to hit a motherfucker. I just wanted to run through somebody's chest. And I'm like, well, that's pretty much the way everybody thought back in the day. So I'm not saying it's right, but I don't remember guys getting hurt like they do now. Like, never. It seems like anything that's wrong is a fucking massive injury now. And I don't know. Back in the day, there was a line, are you hurt or are you injured? And I'm not saying you should play through injury. Maybe that's the meathead way of looking at it. But look, man, this has happened before with Tua. If it was a fucking elbow or a knee, I think it'd be different. But this is bad, dude. I don't know if I would be comfortable.
I don't like looking at that shit.
You can't even. I don't know. If you're Mike McDonald or the Dolphins, how can you just be like, oh, 2 weeks, you're good, go play?
I said it 2 years ago.
How can you do that? And then look at the rest of the team and be like, oh, we care about you.
Like, imagine like with his, Tua's married, right? Like with his family stinking, his kids. I don't know if they're old enough to like be able to remember this or acknowledge it, but still, like, I know his family's looking at this like, hey, man, like, we understand you love the game, but this is, like you said, Matt, your life potential. This is the third or fourth time we've seen this, like, seen him get concussed in the last 2 years.
He's not just like getting up like, hey, my head hurts. He's going to fucking sleep on the field. Like, we've seen Tua go to sleep 3 times in the NFL, at least.
That's crazy.
I don't get it, dog. I'm be honest. I don't understand what's happening here, and I don't get where we are going, but I truly do believe in my heart that when we don't walk on eggshells because we don't fear anything anymore, because we don't practice what we preach, we don't practice how we play, we don't do any of that, you take away the rigor and the callous, I believe you're setting yourself up for failure. I think quarterbacks walk around. I think they walk around, Matt. You and I talked about this years ago, and Patrick Mahomes will take an extra 3 yards because he knows he's not going to get hit.
Not going to get hit.
He'll tippy-toe on the sideline and have the ball like this and talk shit, and I'm like, he would have got his ass boom Basil years ago on GP to take the penalty, Matt. And I was coached it.
It's just like fucking A. I coach it too. I want you physical on the. Every time a high school kid's like, well, they're going to throw a flag, and I go, the college recruiters aren't throwing flags.
Hell no.
Like that, they're looking for that right now. They want you to drive block somebody 50 yards and drop them on their fucking head, Deacon Schmidt. Like, that's what they're looking for. I don't care if the goddamn ref that works at Best Buy throws a fucking flag on you. Fuck him. So, but that's the mentality we're preaching to everybody. But then the game is preaching this, like, in college, if you hit anybody too hard, you're kicked out. In the NFL, they were talking about ejecting Mike Pryor last night because of his hit on a crossing route. He led with his shoulder. You have a helmet on. Like, either eliminate the helmet and make this rugby so everybody's roll tackling, and they will accommodate because they're the best athletes in the world, or allow people to play football again, bro, because I think that a lot of injuries are coming because they are, again, what Coach said, there's no callus. They don't practice. There's no, like, full-speed drills. There's no full-speed tackling anymore. You're not teaching how to do it on top of the full-speed aspect. What does everybody say about the NFL when they get into it? Myself included. The fucking speed is insane. Well, look, if you take the best players in college and then you put them all in the NFL and then you go, hey, 50% of you motherfuckers aren't going to make it. So everybody better, like, that was the beauty of football back in the day, is I was actually in the league when you could practice hard and they could see you play in practice, and that's how you got opportunity. I don't know how grunts or guys that are undrafted and shit even get opportunity anymore. So I know this is a big problem, but the NFL trying to preach safety is like every time I see somebody driving down the interstate with on a crotch rocket with a helmet on and no leathers, I'm like, that seems pretty safe. It's legal. He's got a helmet on. He doesn't need to wear leathers. But if he hits the ground going 90, I don't give a fuck what kind of helmet he has on. He's done. So the helmet's not the problem. I see a bunch of people in the chat like, well, what about all the helmet technology? Helmet technology is great, but your brain inside your head, it floats. So when you get smashed, your brain smashes into the side of your skull. Your fucking helmet can't help that, bro. If anything, the helmet's the problem. So, and they're never going to take that off because that's the main piece of marketing for the entire league is the helmet. Because how fucking cool did the Dolphins throwbacks look last night before they got shit?
Look pretty good. Look pretty good.
I was like, God damn, that's the helmet I wore when I played for them. I was like, that looks pretty fucking cool. Sleep. Tua goes to sleep. That's the only conversation. So, and then I'm going to say this too. I don't see Josh Allen getting a lot of concussions, and he's 6'5", 250.
That's what I was about to say too, because I feel what you're saying. Like, who knows how much the helmet is helping? I think it helps, but like, I think this is more so of like a Tua specific problem. Like, I think he has something wrong with him. It's like, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to put out misinformation, but just using my common sense and what we've seen, like, it keeps happening to the same person. That's to tell you something.
It's reoccurring. Like,
right.
It's just like anything else. I break my left leg, it's probably going to be a little bit weaker the next time. And if someone falls on it again, it's probably going to break. Yeah. So
let me ask you about the contract though. Like, okay, how this works, because my worry is, and I was talking to my personal agent, and he was like, the problem is now it's so fucked up in the way that this has been created by Goodell and the union and everything else. So now we got a guy that's risking injury or death or lifelong terminal illness. We've seen the junior Seau's. We've seen all these horrific endings to great lives.
I mean, how many friends alone have you both lost from
a lot?
Just being fucked up. Like,
but here's what they've set up, Matt. If this guy walks away, if Tua walks away tomorrow and says, "All right, I'm out," he don't get no money, Matt. It ain't guaranteed if he walks out and quits and reneges on his own. He has to be told or fired or let out on the NFL side to keep that money. That's how fucking asinine this is. Can you break that down at all? Like, as far as how absolutely.
This. And I'm going to use personal here. And I didn't play in the new era of guaranteed money, and I wouldn't have gotten it anyway. I'm a fucking grunt. But I was the bottom of the roster guy. And I got to the point where my last contract with the Broncos, I had to sign nine injury waivers. Now, if you don't know what an injury waiver is, that means that they go through your physical, and if you want a job, they're going to say both my ankles, my elbow, my back, my neck, concussions, my right hand, what else? My hip or some shit, my knee. If any of this gets hurt, I don't get shit. I get nothing. They just cut me, and I'm hurt on the street, broke, can't fucking pay my bills. What am I going to do? And I signed it because I wanted to keep playing.
That's your whole body, Matt.
So, well, that's what it is, dog. So that's the only way I can get back on the field. And then what ended up happening anyway, I got hurt off the field because my fucking idiot friend, who's now in prison, who played forever, fucked me up off the field. And it was just meant to be. I wasn't supposed to keep playing. But I walked away undrafted, I don't know, with maybe $100,000 in the bank. And I had to make a decision. Do I want to be able to walk and play with my kids and run a business and live my life? Or do I want to go try and play football again and potentially like be in a wheelchair? Because I had the doctor look at me and say, look, your left leg's mangled, your knee's fucked up. That can be fixed. But the stenosis in your neck is so bad that if you take another hit, you could be paralyzed. And your lower back is so bad that if you don't fuse it, you're going to be in a wheelchair by 40. And I was like, whoa. Like that, it changed the way I looked at it. It wasn't just about getting paid anymore. It wasn't just about making money and being in the NFL. It was, well, fuck, I'm not trying to just live to play in the league and then die. My life isn't just playing football. There's so much more afterwards. So I had to make a decision. I just, on the spot, all right, well, I'm done. And that's what it is. So if Tua, who's a first-round draft pick, and I guarantee you has $50 million in the bank, and if he doesn't, then he's a fucking moron. Okay?
He definitely does. Probably more.
Right now, probably more. And I know he's got a bunch of money on his contract, but brother, your life is more important than the fucking bread, and you've already got the bread. Just call it. Call it. Become a coach. Go, help be the fucking the point of the spear on reforming the way they do concussion protocol. Like, if you get a concussion, you should be out for a month. Like, let's be real. I know that pisses off fantasy owners. Like, I give a fuck. I'm a lineman, and it makes the gambling shit fucked up. But that's the injury report in football, in pro football, is there to help gamblers. It was there before they had fucking legal gambling everywhere. That's why the injury report is so important in pro football, so you can make the lines.
Matt, I don't understand.
It's corrupt as fuck, bro. And I think Tua should walk and save his brain and not worry about the money, dog. There's so much money out here in the world. You don't just have to play football to get it.
Listen, I'm with you, but also you and I know how alpha males operate as well. I don't know if anyone can tell me not to play though, or you. So on the other side of the player side, I'm sitting there. I'd be like, oh fuck you, I'm gonna play. You know what I mean? How? We could discuss this all year long on this show.
I'm that guy, JB. I'm the fuck you, I'm going to keep playing guy. But when you sign 9 injury waivers and they tell you you're going to be in a wheelchair, that changes shit.
That's what I'm saying. But you're also older. Tua's not as old as we were either. So I'm trying to figure out, and I know it's a couple of his family members. I'm trying to figure out who gets a hold of him and tells him and that makes him trigger. What shock treats this guy and says, all right, man, that's enough.
That's the way I look at this is very simple. If he doesn't have his family, friends, agent walking up to him and at least suggesting that he should stop playing, those people are fucking leeches and all they're doing is sucking your money and all they want is your money. That's the only motherfucking reason they're around you, period. Because if they don't look at you and go, hey, bro, this is repetitive and it keeps happening and the whole world's talking about your brain being soft, if they're just like, oh, you'll be good in 3 weeks, honey. When's the next check come in? That's fucking bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But you know how it is. Leeches are from the within more than they are on the outside.
Dog. And it's always the people that you never thought would fuck you over that always do.
Closest one. So, JB, before we transition, just for clarity, so if Tua was your son, you're telling him to retire?
If he's my son, man, I hate to tell a guy. It's tough, Smitty, because I'm looking at it like, okay, this is one opportunity in your life. You made it. You're a 1%er.
Work your ass. I get it.
But you're my kid. You're my blood. And you've done it. You've done this. And remember, though, see, if he was my son, it would be years ago where this money wasn't as great as it is now either. So remember, too, there's a lot of perspectives in this thing.
Yeah,
because
I know.
Troy Aikman and Steve Young also retired. Now, God willing, they got to play a long time, but they also did not make this money either. So, like, how many times, Matt, have we seen guys go through this as players? Same situation as Tua's going through, but had to keep playing because they were only making $1 million a year versus a guy making fucking 50.
A lot of guys are stuck in that situation. But again, you have to understand as a player, the world's a big world. There's a lot of money out here. And you don't just have to fucking sacrifice your brain and your body when you get to a point for it anymore. Like it's
look at Tom Brady, look at all Greg
Olsen. I make way more money now than I did playing in the NFL, way more, because I don't have somebody telling me what I'm worth. I can just go out and earn, like, and hustle and fucking, run my own businesses. So this is a really tricky one, bro. Tua's got a huge platform and a huge following, and I'm sure that if he were to walk away and make his health priority, I think it would be good for guys to see that. But at the same time, the football player in me is just, I've been conditioned to just play. So
Me too.
This is a tricky one.
Yeah, let's dive into it. Everybody wants to know your Colorado takes. You guys had a disappointing loss against Nebraska, the hated ones, the rivalry last weekend. Your show's been blowing up. Congratulations, you and Bailey doing numbers over
Appreciate
there,
it.
getting that going. And I try to tell people every day, I said, regardless if Colorado wins or loses, that's why you and I had that discussion months ago. I said, you should start your own channel and just kill it like Zach does Ohio State.
It's freaking worked.
Regardless of who the coach is, who's not, it's Colorado. You're an alum. You're invested there. So it is what it is, and I think you should cover them forever going forward. I think your show will blow up like it is. Let me ask you, what's your biggest takeaway, number one, from that? You and I talked last Friday before they played. I told you I thought they were a different program because I thought Nebraska played last year with guys that Rule inherited. Colorado brought in greater athletes for a one-time shot. They won that game. I thought Nebraska was going to out-program them this year. It looked like that in that game, and they did. What's your takeaway from just watching that game? I know you were there with your son on a Nebraska visit. Contrary to everybody's belief out there. What's your takeaway from the game, both sides?
All right, so look, I got to tip my cap to Matt Rule in Nebraska. I love Coach Rule. Him and I are tight. He's my guy. He was my guy before he went to Nebraska. They invited my son out on a recruiting trip. They treated him and the rest of the guys I brought out like fucking superstars. It was awesome. I got mad respect for that place, even though they're our rival. It's not the same. We're not playing the day after Thanksgiving for the Big 12 anymore. It's a non-conference game. We won 3 of 4 in the clip. I'll take it. If anything, this was needed.
Let me ask you, Matt, on the other side, not to cut you off, Colorado side, have they recruited your kid or brought him on? And
he's been on 4 trips up there. They've invited him to the Baylor game, so they're on him too. Utah's on him.
How much heat do you take? How much heat do you take, like from not only dick riding fanboys, but like actual insiders in Colorado, like a coach or somebody?
No one says anything about that. I mean, if you have the audacity,
why are you going to Nebraska, Matt? Why are you going on that visit? Nah.
I've never heard anybody negative say anything about it because that's my kid.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not about me. And I even the CSU invited him up this weekend. And he was like, I'm not going. And I was like, I respect that. But when Nebraska's like, yo, come out to a game where we're going to start recruiting your kid, I'm like, dude, we're going. That's if you don't understand why that's different, then you're a fucking idiot.
Nebraska.
I mean, it's Nebraska, dog. So look, my whole family's from out there, so we got to go out, and I got to see my 95-year-old grandmother, his great grandma. It was fucking an awesome weekend. And it was needed. As a buff and as an alum and a guy who loves that fucking place, that embarrassment and beating on national TV was needed. It was needed because I really think it will force change. All right. And I was super pissed off when I got out of court on Monday. And then I went straight to the show and I was super pissed off about all this bullshit. So I was not the nicest. And then we had Deion Sanders Jr. on in the middle of the week, and I asked him some really hard questions he couldn't really answer. And that I really need to see them do a couple of things, okay? I've been saying this since day one, to the point where Mark Jones is on ESPN in the fucking broadcast in North Dakota State, quoting me, talking about if Shadeur doesn't have to do everything, or when I say that Shadeur doesn't have to do everything, he can do anything. And right now he's being asked to do everything again. So until the University of Colorado, regardless of if you have the personnel, I don't want to hear this. We don't have any tight ends or fullbacks. Find some tight ends and fullbacks, dog. Put an offensive lineman in an 80 number and never throw him the ball and let him mash a defensive end. But until they start putting different personnel packages on the field, they start instituting motion packages. They run counter, trap, and power and outside gator. They do something other than slip screen. They stop relying on their talent and they start maximizing their pieces on the chessboard. Because right now, CU's playing checkers. They have an elite player at quarterback and they have an elite player at receiver, and they have a semi-elite player in Joe Horn. Okay, and then after that, they've got a bunch of guys. And even Seton, how many times did you hear me say, and I got so much shit for this, Seton is walking in as a true freshman into a man's game. He's going to have to acclimate. How many times?
A lot. Plenty.
And right now he's struggling and he's got to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're going to change up the offensive line and put some new pieces in. I was encouraged about that. I was begging and pleading that they play under center and move the pocket and sprint out and boot and do misdirection. And I mean, just go watch what Nebraska did or watch what San Francisco did on Monday night, or like the Dolphins, even though they got fucking shit stomped. How many motions and misdirections and wide open holes did you see? If you're not fucking dictating to the defense, they're dictating to you. So if you just want to line up and just run straight offense, okay. Okay. I don't know anybody. I don't know anyone. No one in the NFL, no one in college, no one that can just line up with a quarterback and one good receiver, one elite receiver and a bunch of good receivers. Excuse me. It's not like the players are bad. The scheme is trash. So they either fix the scheme and start playing under center and start showing different formations, or we are in trouble, dog.
Let me ask you something as an O-line, D-line guy, and I want to get Smitty's take because he played this position. I argue with Bailey about this. How do you go from a 2-point stance, pass protecting 45 times a game, to putting your dick in the dirt, 3-point stance, and get hip to hip, hat to hat, and try to push guys to the next level? I don't know if you can just ingrain that in a week, a bye week, overnight. I don't know how you do that mentality-wise. I know you can put the scheme in. Mentality-wise, if that's not your get-down, Matt, how do you just go from, all right, throwing the ball this much to 10 personnel, 3-by-1? We watched the game. They threw, I think they were in 3-by-1, 10 personnel, 7 of the first 9 snaps last week. And I'm like, I don't know how you gotta add a tight end, dog. You know, you and I know we love having that extra gap on offense, and it changes things on defense. Yep. It changes the
protection. And the ability to scissor off tight end heavy and all that shit.
Mentality-wise, just real quick, we only got you for a few minutes. Appreciate you jumping on here. Mentality-wise, though, can you flip that switch like that?
I think you can. I mean, that's why you could. I could, but that's well, okay. It's on the coaches. It's on Sapp and Lewis. It's on Lodeholt. It's on Coach Schumer. It's on Coach Sanders. Everyone. This is how you walk up to them and say, "You want to play in the NFL?" And every one of them are going to say, "Yeah." And you're going to say, well, that shit we put on tape on Saturday is going to have you playing in the fucking CFL as a backup. So you either put your hand in the ground and we're going to call plays that allow us to roll off the football, or we're all fucked. And you're the first one in line. You're the point man on the fuck train. So, like, this is just what it is. Like, if as a football player, if I can't walk up to you and say, this week we're putting in some new shit, and this is, I need you putting your hand on the ground. And if you're an offensive and defensive lineman and they say that, and you've been throwing the ball for fucking 80 times a game forever, and everybody in the country is fucking ridiculing you and saying it's fake and blah, 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 and your quarterback's getting murked again, and they walk into the meeting room and say, we're going to run the ball down fucking CSU's throat, we're putting in all this different shit, we're putting Shadeur under center, and you go, well, I've been pass blocking 45 times a game. How am I going to transfer that? You're fucking cut.
Yeah.
Because personally, as a lineman, I hear that and I'm like, fuck yes. This is exactly why I wanted to play anyway. I love fucking run blocking. I want to pull. And then it makes all your play action looks way easier. You can move the pocket. You can run all your misdirection off of it and slide people through. It makes pass blocking so much easier when they don't know what you're doing. So this is on the coaches, homie. You can blame the players all you want. This is on coaching and the inability for them to change what they're doing. The great Don Shula said this in his little book of coaching that I got when I was 14 years old for Christmas. And it's not verbatim, but you can have a great plan, but if your plan can't be changed, it's a bad plan. So if you can't change your plan, that's on the people that institute the plan, bro. And I'm not hating. I've already talked to Deion about this. I've already talked to Bucky, Deion Sanders Jr. about this. I've already talked to the players about this shit. So look,
just keeping it real, Matt. That's it.
I think you're going to see a lot of changes on Saturday. And if you don't, even if they beat CSU's ass and they throw for 500 yards, I don't know if I could sit here on Monday and be like, that was awesome. Yeah, it'll look cool, and I'll be excited that we're winning and Shadeur's chopping them up. But that shit's not going to work against Baylor. When you go to UCF and they fucking run the spread hammer because you know Malzahn's just going to run the ball down their throat, control time of possession. You can't go to Orlando in 80% humidity and fucking do that. Everyone's going to be cramping and shit. You got to run the ball and control the clock. You think you're going to fucking beat Kansas State in Boulder throwing the ball 50 times? I'm sorry, but it's not going to fucking happen. So I've been pleading that they change, and hopefully now it's forced because of the embarrassment that was there Saturday. Although there are positives, it's just impossible to talk about them when that happens. So
second half defense looked good. I'll give you that. That's probably my big thing.
Second half of both games, the defense looked good. So you've got a professional defensive coordinator in Livingston who is obviously walking in and making adjustments in the second half. If I would have told you, okay, last Friday or whatever, CU goes to Lincoln and the defense only gives up 21 points and they hold Nebraska scoreless in the second half, I think CU wins that game by 2 touchdowns.
Right. No, exactly. So they gotta just learn from that game, take away the good, and then keep going.
Matt, I gotta answer my door. Matt,
you're good, JB. I got it. I got 2 more things. 2 more things for you, Matt. I guess first question: how big is this weekend? Is this a must win for Colorado?
Yes, it's season breaker.
Ooh, season breaker.
And look, it's not the end of the world because you can still go into conference and catch fire. And I guess hypothetically they could be 1-2 and have the whole world shitting on them and go into Baylor and play well, win that game, beat UCF, have a bye week, come back, beat Kansas State, and then all of this is forgotten. But you definitely don't want to lose your rival 2 times in a row. You don't want to go to Nebraska and not look good and then go to CSU and lose this game. Colorado State is not Nebraska. And Colorado State, like we talked about this last year, they always do this stupid shit. They always run their mouths. Now they're talking about murdering the team. And Nicolosi is talking about, well, when our 11 line up against your 11, dummy, they already lined up and we already beat you.
Real quick, Matt, perfect segue. Not to cut you off. Let's play this video real quick so the fans can kind of hear some of the trash talk and then go back to you.
We owe them one. And that's just something that's been sitting on everybody, mind since we came back from break. We owe them. And we walked away from that game, as, we kind of left it all on the field. I don't feel like we left it all on the field because we should have murdered them guys.
Murdered them, Matt. What's your takeaway from that comment? They should have murdered y'all.
So this is my thing with Colorado State. You guys, Colorado State does this every time we play throughout history. With the only time that I can remember them not talking shit was in 2002 when they beat us when we were ranked 4th in the country and they upset us. That's the only time I can remember them not talking shit. In 2003, they talked shit and blew it. In 2004, they talked shit and blew it on the goal line. In 2005, they were talking shit and blew it. They do this all the time. Last year, they were talking all that shit, and did they finish? Nope. They blew it. I remember people leaving the game, and I was like, don't leave. Colorado State's going to fuck this up. Not CU's going to go win it. Colorado State's going to fuck this up, and they did. So, look, you can run your mouth and ba-ba all you want up in Fort Collins. You are not the University of Nebraska. You're not Kansas State. You're not Oklahoma State. You are fucking Colorado State. The coach on Jim Rome, Jay Norvell, is calling them the little stepbrother. We didn't even say it. You said it. So they have a huge inferiority complex. Everybody there wishes that they could play in Boulder. They're all pissed off because CU didn't recruit them. It's been the narrative forever. Now, throughout time, they've had some really great players and friends of mine that I really respect. But as a program, I think it's a joke. I think that the way that they operate and the way they do things, their fan base is a joke. They have a brand new stadium that they can't fill ever. They've never filled it up. There's going to be a CU home game on Saturday. So I can't go to the game because my son's playing Friday night and he plays in the JV game Saturday and it's in the afternoon. So we're not going to go to the game, but I'm going to live stream it on my station so people can see my reaction. That's going to be interesting. But so look, CSU constantly does this. They're always buying. They're always going personal. I don't know why, because all it does is just piss people off at CU. And look, this is my thing. And I said this yesterday on my show. I had Lawrence Vickers on, who's the biggest Ram killer of all of them. Now, I've been holding my tongue for a year. on the whole Blackburn thing. Now they're talking about murdering us. Okay. In my opinion, the gloves are off, dog. I need to see CU match their nasty bullshit. I want to see CU go out there. You want to play fucking dirty? That's just our game. I'd love to go in the alley and beat the shit out of you with my bare hands. That's just what we're about. So I need CU to take that fight to them, not be the punching bag and react. I wouldn't mind if you go out and fucking run through Fowler Nicolosi's fucking back two yards late and put him on the drive him into the fucking turf. I'm not advocating violence. I'm responding to the way they play. If they're going to try and take people out, well, God damn it, that's the way we're going to fucking play too. So that would be my message to CU. They want to play dirty and talk about murdering us? Flip this motherfucker. Don't say a word. Go run through their face and make them feel the fucking pain. Drop the hammer on their ass. And every time they hit them late, hit them dirty, hit them in the pile, hit them fucking out of bounds, and let them fucking know it. And the refs should be splitting up fucking altercations and fights the whole game. And I'm not talking about this pregame, you're on our logo shit. I'm talking in the middle of the game. Like, I'm sorry, but if it gets a little contentious, it gets a little contentious.
It is what it is. You got me ready to run through a fucking brick wall right now, man.
But seriously, didn't Shiloh say similar shit before Nebraska game?
Yeah, but CSU ain't Nebraska, dog.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying they all talk at that point.
Again, that's pregame talk bullshit. Shiloh should probably not be saying that. Nebraska is not CSU.
I just like to keep it real.
Yeah, I'm talking about the game. Look, so example. Marcus Houston, number one player in his class, came into CU, great player on paper.
We got to end there. We got to end right after this, Matt. Go ahead.
know, and he's transferred to CSU. And this junior and senior year, this motherfucker talks so much junk. And our goal in life, and I'm not ashamed to say this, in 03 and 04, my goal in life and everyone's goal on defense was to knock this motherfucker out of the game. Whatever we have to do to get Marcus Houston's bitch ass out of the game, we're doing it. And we were talking so much shit. We were fighting him. We were fucking tackling him late, hitting him out of bounds. After the game, he tried to come up and shake our hands. We were all just like, fuck you, traitor. Leave. We want nothing to do with your ass. That's what this game needs. If Colorado doesn't bring that fight to CSU, CSU is going to try and bring that fight to them as the little brother. So you either slap down your little brother or eventually he gets big enough to fuck with you. And they're not yet, so you better slap him down.
Hey, Matt, Monday we'll see you after the game. We'll recap this whole weekend, not only that game, but all the other good games. Colorado.
So what do you think? You think CU beats CSU?
I don't know, but if they don't, I don't know if there's
Bro, if they don't, I'm jumping off a building.
if they don't, seriously, if they don't, though,
there's problems.
The only two wins I see from that point on would be Cincinnati and maybe Texas Tech. I don't know. I'm just saying. I look at their schedule. It's not as easy as we first thought. I think now that we've seen these teams play, I think the team's going to be a little better than we thought in that league. That league's better than I thought.
The Big 12 is no joke, bro. And look, that's the way we want it. So either figure it out or get fucked up. Those are the options.
Hey, we'll talk Monday. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you guys. I'll see you on Monday.
Go Buffs.
See you, Matt.
Peace. He left.
Who left?
You got to take a break. Jeff's going to pop on. He was in, but he had to leave and come back, so we're going to get him back on. Jeff Nadu is right now. We're switching to Friday hours, so everybody out there knows. Jeff has to come in a little earlier. And Sean King will now come on after where Jeff used to be, because that's Jeff has an obligation on Fridays now, so we just changed a few little things scheduling going forward on Friday, just to let you guys know. So, Jeff Nadu, Smitty, you gotta go take a piss or something, go ahead. I'll handle it now. We can swap out.
I do gotta take a piss. I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right, bet. Well, go ahead.
Take me away, Bailey.
Jeff Nadu is here. Shaun, you were supposed to come on at 8. All right, you good. Shaun's good. Jeff, appreciate you waiting, man. Sorry about that. I hate to have you waiting.
I got to say one thing. Boy, it is just excuse after excuse with that guy. You can do whatever you want if you're Colorado. Colorado's a bunch of fucking nobodies. They can do shit, but no one else can. But let me say one thing, Matt. You realize last year, Colorado got out-yarded by almost 100 yards. Colorado State had 17 penalties, and turned the ball over 4 times and still almost won.
Hey, Shaun, real quick, you're going to come in. Shaun,
like-
you're coming in after Jeff, but I just wanted to hop you in on this since you're waiting.
All right.
Hey, Jeff, Shaun likes to watch you, so he was in the back. He's coming on after you. But real quick, you agree with Jeff on that?
Say it again. My bad. Say it again. I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is you can't, like, he's talking about last year like they beat the fuck out of Colorado State. First of all, Colorado State was winning the whole game. They had almost 100 yards more. Colorado State had 17 penalties and turned the ball over 4 times, and the game still went to overtime. So let's stop. Like, he always talks about, oh, well, they can't talk shit, but we can because we're Colorado. Colorado's a fucking nothing program in America. What are we talking about?
I had to leave Shaun and go answer my door, but I came back and Matt was still here because I thought he was out. But that was my thing. Shiloh was talking so much shit before Nebraska game. That's why I had to ask Matt. I'm like, wait up, Shiloh can talk, but y'all can't.
There's always an excuse with that guy. It's always an excuse on why they can do it, but nobody else can. And listen, Matt, I will debate you at any point, but for you, it's always about, you always, make fun of people. That's what you do. You can't debate on anything.
Oh, y'all talking about McChesney?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's always like that. They can do anything, Colorado. It's like they're Ohio State or Alabama.
Well, in fairness to him, he went there at his show.
Yeah,
I get it. But
here's the problem with, and I'm just going to use Colorado because they're the talking point of today. You can't be anti-Colorado and get access in that kind of climate. He's already proven it by the reporter that they won't allow to ask any questions.
Hold on, let me pause you though. Is that because of Deion or the college?
I think it's a combination of how much money the attention is generating.
Smitty or Shaun. Okay.
The bottom line of their budget has to be as high as it's been ever in the history of the program, without even winning games.
But you have to stand. Okay, look. For case in point, I will never work in Philadelphia radio ever. You know why? It's not because I'm not good enough. I'm blackballed. They never hire me. Ever. And I'm okay with that. I'll make money my own way. I have to stand for something.
Oh,
and again, calling out a program because fact is not bad.
So I'm not defending McChesney. McChesney is delusional. I don't know what the hell he got going on. He just think if he talk loud and say like off the chart shit like it's just truth. I don't know what Matt got going on. Matt bipolar. I think Matt really need to go seek like real help.
You said it, not me.
I don't know what he got going
on.
I'm
going harder with this, huh?
He attacked Smitty at the end of training camp. He attacked JB after the first loss. Like, Matt all over the damn place, man. I don't know what he got going on.
Hey, Matt's an invested alum, and he has to do it. So it is what it is.
But, Coach, it would be understandable if they treated him correctly, right? I don't see Deion Sanders just throw him a bone. I mean, he's very loyal to the program. But I'll tell you this. Here's what I won't be ever loyal to. Fucking businesses that don't give a fuck about me. You think the Philadelphia Eagles give a fuck about me? No.
That's the point. And I don't want to talk about Matt. I don't want to talk about Matt without him being here. So
what I'm trying to say is these people are loyal to these fucking causes for what? I'm loyal to a job that'll fire me for no reason.
Jeff, on some actionable stuff, no one's talking about how significant the loss of Shiloh is.
Right.
Like the one thing they did have in Shiloh, they had a physical presence back there who was great at tackling in the open field. I think it's a huge drop-off from Shiloh to whoever his replacement is. And when you consider that their linebackers have been invisible both years that they've been at Colorado, I think that's a huge loss.
Yeah, I agree.
And with the game itself, Rich, real quick, with the game itself, when it comes to those two players, I don't think they said anything wrong. We hope this time it's different. We didn't do what we should have last year. And look, it is a big game. Colorado State has a good quarterback. They have a great receiver in Horton. I mean, I took 8. That's too many points to me. I think the game's 4 either way, probably. And I don't know how you can trust Colorado from an offensive line standpoint. Time after time, they have proven they cannot block. They're not good in the trenches. That's a major issue. We know that on both sides. They're also not good.
That's why I asked Matt, Jeff, and Shaun, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm cool. I'm glad you guys are here together because we're switching times. But I asked him that because I don't know, Shaun and Jeff, if you understand. Shaun, you do. Jeff, putting your dick in the dirt, and meaning a 3-point stance from a 2-point stance as a pass protector changes your mentality. And that's why I asked Matt, do you think that can change overnight? Because they said now we're going to go under center a little bit. That doesn't mean nothing mentality-wise. And I agree with Matt. Coaches are the reason, but that's what I've been saying this whole 2 years. It's the coaches. So, like, this ain't nothing new to me. I think that you have to have a mentality going into camp. It starts in the culture and in spring ball, Shaun, that we're going to run the football hip to hip and get physical, not pass protect 45 times a game, throw the football all over the place to pad my son's stats and the quarterback who I want to win the Heisman stats. That's where I think there's a disconnect in this whole thing.
Here's what's interesting when I look at them from afar. Prime was probably one of the more mentally tough athletes we'd ever seen. Elitely talented, but also able to stay locked in mentally. Because Colorado cannot defend the run or run the ball, they're going to be in fourth quarter games almost every week. The only way to win by margin is when you can make the other team one-dimensional by stopping the run, and then you can run the ball yourself. Otherwise, every game is going to be in the fourth quarter. And to me, this is where I have major question marks because they don't handle chaos well. Like, they're front runners. If they're out front and everything's rolling, I mean, they're the best in the business at, having planned celebrations and, creating this new marketing opportunity. But it seems like, when it's competitive and you got to really lock down, focus, and think, that they just haven't been able to come through. So it's going to be interesting.
They also can't run the ball at all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Last 2 years, they were dead last in the country last year in rushing yards per attempt. You know where they are this year? Second to last, 2 games in. But they can't run the ball. And I hate to tell you, but I know no one wants to hear this, but Dylan Edwards just went to Kansas State, and he's a dynamic player for that group. They have one of the best rushing offenses in the country. So,
hey, Jeff, if you watched that Nebraska game last week, though, and then gonna go into this Colorado State game, Steve Kim and I watched this the other day. We were disappointed, Shaun, in Matt Rule and the Nebraska Cornhuskers in the second half, not scoring a point and putting their foot on someone's throat. Like, that's what I want to see the next step. I would have been preaching that as the head coach. like, we should have 50 right now. So, like, did you guys watch that and take anything away from that part of it? Or do you think Colorado actually played 2 shutout halves in a row? Because they haven't allowed a point in the second half so far. So, but they've also been down. I mean,
to me, next year's Nebraska's year, not this year. I think the skill players around the country are starting to see how good Raiola is. Because let's not play with it. Raiola's really damn good. Even with all the Patrick Mahomes impersonations and he studied. I mean, everything he does is exactly from a mannerism standpoint what Patrick Mahomes does.
Pre-game celebration, everything.
What he wears, how he walks off the sideline, everything. But at the same time, the kid is really damn good, especially for a true freshman. I think Nebraska is still a couple of NFL caliber skill players away from being able to do what you mentioned, JB, which is run away with games.
Yeah.
But if you're him, he's gone, right?
It's got to be 3 years, though. He's got to stay out. You have to be 3 years out of high school. So that's what I'm saying. He's got 2 more left at Nebraska, minimum, just based on the requirements. So
let's say they don't go to a bowl this year. He's got to stay there another year?
No. You guys are talking about 2 things. You got to talk about 2 things, Jeff. He's talking about Raiola. You're talking about Deion.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about Deion.
I'm talking about Raiola at Nebraska.
I'm saying Deion's gone, like Florida, right? He'll go there or something, right? I
think Deion's got to win to get a really big primetime job.
I agree.
He don't have to win to leave. He can go to a Southern program that's on Colorado's level because of the interest he's going to bring. But to get an elite, potentially like national title caliber job, I think Deion's got to win.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree. Hey,
There's
Jeff,
no point of him leaving Colorado unless he gets a big time opportunity because he has so much power and control at Colorado. It doesn't make sense to go to
Listen,
comparable.
I wouldn't hire him on a fucking high school team, but a lot of people love the guy.
Yeah, he brings money in.
He's not a good coach. I've said that time and time again. And Smitty doesn't agree with me, but he's not a good coach. Time and time again. This is 2 years now, Smitty. He has had no fucking offensive line. His defense can't stop a fucking nosebleed. He couldn't stop me and 8 listeners in this chat.
We just said how the last 2 weeks, though, how his defense shut them down in the second half. So, yeah, they got to get better and make that a full game. But it's college football. Teams are going to score. They don't have Georgia talent over there.
But, you know,
it's been 2 weeks, and you're already on this random fan. He's a horrible coach. You have not set foot, neither have I, in the fucking locker room, watch any practice. So we don't even know what he's doing from a coach.
This is the same team that won 3 fucking games last year, and we had to put the red carpet out because they won the title. It's always something with this team.
Jeff,
they always have
this because he won at Jackson State. I think it's unfair to say yay or nay yet. I think the jury's still out.
Thank you. That's really where I'm at.
Would you agree that if they don't win tomorrow against a rival, would you? When do you start caring? Because when they do it, it's okay. So when we win 3 games, we should, everyone should love us and everyone should be at the game.
I think
when we don't win shit, then what?
I think the thing that has been learned through this college situation,
patience.
Man, listen, if you're gonna boast and brag when it's good, boy, look, you got to be able to take them.
They don't do that.
And Shaun, let's dive into that real quick.
On the other side.
I had all this shit going. I wanted to ask Matt these things. I'll ask him on Monday, but the Shadeur walking off with 2 minutes left.
It's terrible, classless.
Okay, I just wanted to get your take on that. Okay, what was your takeaway from that? I don't care about. I don't want to hear.
My thing is this: when you win, if you feel like you deserve to stay on the field long enough to have somebody bring you a $250,000 watch and go in the opposing team student section and show them your watch, then you gotta, as a competitor, be able to handle the other side when you get your ass kicked.
Like Nebraska did that whole mocker shit, right?
You got to be able to stand over there and walk out to the middle and shake their hand and be like, all right, we'll get you next time, goddammit. But you can't run from it and play victim when it don't go your way. That's just a bad look.
That's what Smitty and I started this week off with when we saw it Monday. We were like, I let it off. You can't do it. You got to have some humility if you're going to talk that shit.
Hey, Coach, what would you do if your player did that?
He'd be suspended or something. It'd be ridiculous. I'd have a coach go grab him. That's the first thing. So it's because you got to show, and it's a hard spot to be in. I've said this many times with Smitty. It's a hard spot for Deion being the father of this face of the most recognized face in college football, probably in Shadeur. It's a hard spot for him. Like,
I don't think he agrees with.
I don't either.
Of the stuff Shadeur
I don't
does.
either.
He's just never going to publicly
you're right.
Shadeur because they're aiming to be the number 1 pick. But I know Deion deep down inside don't like a lot of that stuff that Shadeur does.
So let me ask you this, Shaun, to your point, because you know him. I don't know Deion at all. Never met him. I know JB kind of like he knows him. I don't know about Jeff. So you know him, Shaun.
I know.
Do you think behind the scenes, like we're not seeing it, but behind the scenes in the locker room, Deion's like going to Shadeur like, hey, X, Y, Z, you need to chill, you need to do this, X, or you think he's just letting them do whatever? Like your honest opinion.
I don't know if he can at this point. Like
Shaun,
once your child becomes an adult and Shadeur's adult and he's making $4 million plus in NIL and he's got a Phantom and a Cybertruck and all these national deals, I mean, at some point you just got to let your kid live. Like, I've taught him well. He
live and learn, huh? Live and learn.
Yeah. He know the stove is hot. If he gonna keep touching it,
it's on him.
But Shaun, you would agree. I mean, all you guys are all smart football people. You're smarter than me about football. He's not a first-round pick. There's no fucking draft board that has him as a first-round pick. No fucking way.
So
first round or number 1 overall?
Jeff,
no, he's
so Jeff.
Any major draft board, he's not a first-round pick.
Jeff,
no one has him as a first-round pick.
Jeff, here's why I would push back on you. The NFL screws up quarterback evals all the time.
Absolutely.
Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick. Zach Wilson was a top 5 pick in the first round. Like, they get this thing wrong. So,
would you agree?
He's more talented than Zach Wilson and Kenny Pickett by far.
Fair enough. I don't disagree, but you would agree he's not going to go before Cameron Ward. He's not going to go before Miller Moss. He's not going to go before Carson Beck.
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. There's 5-6
Carson
quarterbacks.
Beck, I don't know.
Throw in the fact that this is from a position standpoint, this receiver draft's very good coming up. You got, his teammate, you got Luther Burden, you got McMillan. There's a bunch of players. He's not a first round pick. No, with all the defensive players, he'd have to be unbelievable.
I would withhold that being a strong opinion, only because we don't know who has the first pick yet.
Right.
Probably the
And
Panthers.
so sometimes don't think those owners don't think more about bottom line than they do about, some of that other stuff. And the one thing Shadeur coming to your organization is going to do is create interest, whether you think he's deserving of the pick or
That's
not.
true.
What round did Tebow get drafted in? Y'all remember? First round, right? Now I get it. He was a Heisman. He was incredible in college. But from an actual quarterback position, I think we all kind of knew that the way he played the game didn't translate to the NFL, but he still went first round.
I'm glad you mentioned him, by the way. Shout out to Tim Tebow. Do you know what he does today?
What do you do?
Tim Tebow is a big advocate for human trafficking. He's I saw it on TikTok today. He is a really great guy. He does a lot of good shit that needs to be addressed. Good for him. He didn't work out in the football world, but
Hey, Jeff,
It worked out, right?
well, I mean, now I guess.
Won a playoff games, been an analyst for a year.
He was an Eagle. He was a Philadelphia Eagle at one point.
Hey, Jeff, look at that DM I sent you. I got a DM yesterday that was very interesting and disturbing. I'm going to have this guy on the show one day. But, hey, real quick, Jeff, don't give away too much because we got our Sunday show with Sean Salisbury. We're going to have to get Sean King to jump on that show, an NFL pregame show every once in a while.
Yeah.
Real quick, we got college games. We watched the Arizona State go 3-0. Good friend of mine, Kenny Dillingham's 3-0 at Arizona State. They beat the Texas State team with a legitimate, I think, couple NFL running backs on that team. They shut them down second half, played some defense, won that game in a 31-28 game. And then this weekend's interesting. I want to break down this college thing real quick. Oregon State play early this year. Obviously, they kept the rivalry intact. And then Washington State kept the rivalry, the Apple Cup. Do you see how is that in the betting world when these teams aren't in the conference anymore? The rivalry's still there. They're separated by a few miles, but it's not the same, is it?
Well, no, I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't know what it's like to play, but I wouldn't think it would be. I get still state rivalry, that sort of thing, the Civil War, whatever they call it. But Oregon needs to put a good football game together because defensively, I mean, they got run all over last week. Now, Ginty's the best running back in the country. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He ain't going to win it because running backs don't ever win it seems like. But they also need to put a full game together. They're a big favorite yet again. They had no chance to cover last week. They had no chance to cover in week one. I'm kind of waiting for certain teams to put a big game together. There's a couple of teams this week that are big favorites that I don't know that they should be big favorites. Mizzou, they haven't played anybody. They're 17-point favorites against a good upstart BC team. Oregon State, though, this is not a particularly strong Oregon State team. They lose John Smith. Their quarterback's a guy that's kind of unproven. They don't have that bell cow running back and great defense like they've had in years past. We're kind of waiting for Oregon to get going. I just can't seem to want to pick when they're going to do it. I think they'll look at it and say, well, we're 2-0. But Oregon has not looked like an Ohio State, a Texas, some of the teams so far this year.
Not even SC right now, in my opinion. Not even SC. Sean, give me your take. Sean, what's wrong with Oregon, Sean? What's wrong with Oregon, though?
I'm taking the points of Oregon State. Here's what I've learned in these situations. Until the engine gets rolling, it's a very good opportunity to keep stacking up chips. And right now, Oregon doesn't look like a team that can win with margin for whatever reason. So I'm taking the points of Oregon State. Oregon State feels like they can win the game.
Hey, the topic.
We'll see.
Jeff doesn't have a lot of time, and we'll be back Sunday, Jeff.
I got 10 minutes or so.
All right, let me ask you guys both of the glaring thing that Smitty and I started with, the thumbnail and everything else. Last night, we witnessed a horrific incident again with Tua. I had a viral video 2 years ago when the NFL, Shaun, that you played in, and claimed that he had a back injury when we all knew damn well he knocked his head off the turf, and that was clearly a concussion if you played the position as Shaun and I did. Where are you at now with this? And if I told you to fill in the blank, what is your blank? If I asked you, if you are Tua, you do blank.
I don't like to answer these questions because it's up to him.
I know.
I mean, if I was advising him, JB, here's what I would say. It wasn't a hard hit. I mean, his helmet ran into DeMar Hamlin's arm.
Which is even more telling, right?
And you still end up concussed. So obviously there's something significant there from a trauma standpoint that hasn't properly healed.
And it won't.
I mean, that's what it's not like this is a big hit at all. This is not a big hit. So it's something wrong that he needs to really, really evaluate. I would be interested contractually, since he just signed that deal, if he doesn't play again, how that will work out.
I broke it down. I got hit about my agent, and he said that the problem is the NFL has played catch-22, double-edged sword. They want to live in both worlds. They want to be the judge, jury, and the executioner. So if he were to walk away, he don't get that money. He has to be forced out to get that money. And I don't believe the owners, because like Dr. Jesse Moore started our show off today breaking that injury down, and he's like, the problem is, who do those – these neurologists and doctors and all these things. That's why Dr. Jesse Morse got out of the NFL. They work for the owners, Shaun, as you know. So the owner's going to say, Jeff, hey, I just paid this guy $220 million.
You got to feel bad for the guy, man. And we're not dealing with just, well, he might get some headaches the rest of his life. We're dealing with, his brain is not going to possibly work correctly. He may do things that he doesn't know he's going to do. Look at some of the things that we've seen from former NFL players due to possible head injuries. It's a sad situation, man. I wish him the best, but it's 3 concussions in 2 years? I'm not a doctor. I don't need to tell you that shouldn't happen. You don't want it to ever happen. And again, he has a long career ahead of him. And I'd love to know what the contract states. That would be interesting, but yeah, it's sad either way.
I hate that it happened. I hope he's well, but I hate that it happened, because I was prepared to come in and talk about how he's not that good when he's healthy. So
I know, me too. I posted a video, and here's the crazy part. When you post the breakdowns, Shaun, it takes 3 minutes to upload, and within that 3 minutes, it uploads like right when the guy gets hurt. Yeah. And now I'm the asshole. Right. So I posted this video 3 minutes prior just on breaking down simple film why he went to the 1x side and not the 3x side when the numbers were telling him to go to the 3x1 side. And I broke this video down. And can we show that video, Bailey, at all? Can you find that video, Bailey, please? I broke it down last night.
You should have archived it.
Yeah, I broke it down, and I'm like, and plus, Shaun, the other part is that, and I wanted to break it down with the fans and you and Jeff, because there was a back over there on the 1x side, but the back wasn't like a snag concept where the back swung and we ran a snag and we ISO'd the backer on the line of scrimmage. The back stayed in to protect, and Tua has to know that as the quarterback, I hope. So that he knew that the 1x side was dead, and then he goes back to the 3x1 side, throws it late, pick 6, and it's like, this is fundamental coaching 101. And what are we really coaching the quarterbacks in this day and age?
JB, I had all my notes. I was about to get on Mike McDaniel ass. What the hell was he doing with 3 minutes left in the first half? Were they even trying to score?
He was trying not to lose. He was trying to get to halftime, Shaun.
What good? Let me ask you guys, what good? I've noticed these quarterbacks that want to take on pressure instead of sliding. I'll go back to like a Carson Wentz, right? Carson Wentz completely fizzled out. He was never the same after that injury by him going after the goal line and trying to attack a defender and go head on. Why not just I've seen Mahomes. He's very good at it a lot of the time, avoiding contact. And you guys know that. Every hit you can avoid is important. Why isn't Tua Tagovailoa sliding?
Well, Jeff, it's a level of athleticism thing. Tua's not an elite athlete, so it's hard for Tua when he's running to be in the middle where he wants to pick up the first down.
Yeah.
Be athletic enough to slide feet first as opposed to head first.
But Shaun, let me ask you. I broke it down. I started the show off with that, Smitty and I got to ask you, though. I started off and went on a rant about it. It's because we've created this narrative of not hitting the quarterback anymore. We usually got guys that are sliding and almost getting up simultaneously because they know they're down and the guy jumps over them on defense or not touches them. And the quarterbacks are ingrained now to understand I'm not going to get hit, so I'm not going to slide, or I know I'm not going to get hit. Haven't we set them up for failure, though?
Yeah, I'd rather have my quarterback err on the side of being aggressive, because you couldn't play quarterback for me and it's 3rd and 6 and you slide at 5 yards when you could have got the first down.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's you talking about drive me crazy. Let me see you go out there and do that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Shaun. I'm right there with you, man. So I don't know, man. I just
where it was a badge of honor where we got hit. Like, part of your hazing into the league was being able to get up time and time again when they were back there drop kicking you on a
That's
consistent
football.
basis.
That's football, man. And like you said, I kind of glad JB started kind of alluding to the actual X's and O's of the game because, like you said, prior to the injury, they were still getting their asses whooped.
He
And
was
I just feel
playing
like
terrible back there, man.
Tua's what now 1-7 against the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. He's won one time. So like I just feel like they got out coached, out toughed, out hustled, out anything you could think of. The Bills outed them in every single category.
I feel like the Dolphins live in an alternate reality. Like that's the only organization in the world where the quarterback throw a pick six and he comes to the sideline and he laughing, the head coach laughing.
Oh yeah, I said that. I said it last night.
What the hell's going
Shaun,
on?
hey Jeff, this is why you don't hire a guy who only did fucking Excel spreadsheets. He did Excel spreadsheets, and everybody out there thinks he was really the OC in Frisco. No, he wasn't. I'm just telling y'all, this is not what he was. He was an analytical guy, and you guys hired him, and this is what the world and the league has gone to, though. This is what the league now.
Now,
hey,
to his defense, devil's advocate, as I always say, he did get them boys to the playoffs for the first time since I don't even know. So, like, I mean, I got to give him a. We gonna go at him when he's bad, but we got to also give him.
I'll tell you what. You know the one thing I like about the Dolphins? Vic Fangio, their former coordinator, is now the defensive coordinator at the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what he does? If you don't play well, he's just not good enough. He's out. And he'll tell us that. Devin White has not been good enough to be the middle linebacker. So, yeah, we're just going to put someone else in there. These guys today,
no idea what happened to Devin White. Devin White's first 2 years in Tampa, I thought he had a chance to be a Hall of Famer. And I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, he wouldn't tackle. He wasn't playing hard. Like, we eviscerated him in Tampa, and he was always playing the victim. So it's interesting to hear Fangio said that publicly, Jeff.
Yeah, basically came out and said, you know, we're going to start Zach Bond over him or whoever over him. And he's accepting that he's going to be the backup. You know, he's making, what, $7 million a year? He's the backup.
Yeah. Real quick, Jeff, we got to get your take on this game. I want to show a video first, though, because this game is incredible. I got to get your take.
Huge game.
Kansas lost to Illinois, and they play this team, UNLV.
Ooh.
Shaun is in Vegas. This is your UNLV team, Shaun.
This is Shaun's favorite team, JB.
I can't believe I'm watching this.
Wait, that's a football team? No way.
Show one more time, Bailey. Just have it playing a couple times. Just let it run.
It's got to be the cheerleading team or something.
No, that's UNLV.
No.
That's UNLV.
Yeah, I had the exact same reaction. I literally, JB, am I lying? When you showed me the video, I said, JB, are you sure it's the football team? It's not like the dance team?
This is the football team.
No.
That last dude was hella saucy. I'm going to just say that.
Yeah, he's sassy.
Yeah, that's the one guy you saw, the last guy only?
No, but watch though. Hold on. Watch this.
What is this?
Hell.
No.
Hey, here's what's crazy. Now, this is my first time seeing this, and I don't know how Coach Odom let this get out because he's not this kind of coach.
You know, he's not.
He Texas. Hey, JB, I don't know if you watched them play. Boy, they play a violent style of football.
I know.
Hey, I'm talking about, hey, they see ball, get ball.
Hey, so Shaun, what you saying is looks can be deceiving, huh?
Absolutely.
Or that's just what college football has become.
JB, they got some dogs out there.
Hey, Jeff, KU, on a serious note, lost to Illinois in a probably.
They did. And I will say, the line in this game has moved up 2 points. Maybe they saw that video and bet against them because this number's been bet up.
I'm sorry. Shaun said they see ball, get ball. I'm sorry. That shit got me.
Hey, don't run up on that group thinking it's sweet, boy. Hey.
My fault, Jeff. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but I
see
can't
what they
believe
did
that.
in Houston? Man, they kicked Houston butt from start to finish.
They also put up 72 last week, regardless of who it was against.
Like,
but
Brennan Marion got that offense rolling, man.
Hey,
but by the way, before I go, Coach, you got to go get that video. Did you see the video of in L.A., the dude rolling up and seeing a friend of his in drag? Did you see that?
No.
I saw it. It was on Twitter. They say it was a crip. I don't know if it's true or not. he saw his Crip homie, but he was like drag queen type.
It was
and
rough.
he got pissed off and they got into a fight. I saw that.
I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. All right.
Have a good one, Jeff.
Shaun, break this down. So let's dive in. By the way, I want to be clear. I don't think that's the football team at UNLV. I think it's the, what do you call it? What's the
like the dance team?
The dance team.
I don't know if the dance team has that many players or people, do they? I thought that was, what do they call it? The Shaun, the fucking, I don't know. I don't know.
So I was right. So it wasn't. I knew it. I knew there's no way in hell that could be the football team. I was like, there's literally no way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I hope not.
You had me fooled, JB. Damn.
Spirit Squad. Yeah, there you go. Quanzito. I think it was the Spirit Squad. It used to be girls, Shaun, by the way. The Spirit used to be girls. Now they're guys, I guess. Shaun, break this down, though. Back to Tua. Can we please break this down back to Tua? I want to show a video that I did last night and just get your take on the simple read and why he struggles.
All right, let's find out why this guy is first overpaid as shit. Secondly, why would you even do what he does? And let me break it down fundamentally, okay, real quick for you guys. It's real simple. There's a 3-by-1 set over here. 1, 2, 3 receivers. Count the defenders. Count the defenders, please. That's a defensive end right there, okay? That's a DN, not a backer or anybody like that. Count the defenders out there on 3 receivers. 2, and a safety on the roof, right? Okay. Now let's go over to the single side receiver. How many guys are over there? 2, with a possible backer that can drop, okay? Safety, corner. It's dead. Tua, it's a dead read.
And Shaun, there's a back over there, so if you were going to run a snag concept, swing the back, run a snag with the receiver there that Noel Mazzoni loves.
They still got you 3-on-2.
They still got you 3-on-2, but at least it's a fair game. But he knows that the back ain't going out. The back didn't go out. So let's watch the rest.
I got to go to my 3-by-1 side, okay? Now, why would you even look to the single side receiver, Tua? Basic quarterback 101. Why would you even look there? Why? Let's check it out. Why are you looking at the single side receiver this long? It makes zero sense, man. It just makes.
Shaun, I don't get it. Break it down. I don't understand. He did this all game, though. It wasn't like that was just the only issue we saw.
I really think he predetermines pre-snap where he's going with the ball. I think some of it's the confidence they have in McDaniel and his ability to scheme plays. And then a lot of times, I think McDaniel has a lot of one-read stuff in his offense. He just dresses it up by moving Tyreek around, motioning Waddle. You know, now they got Jonnu Smith changing his alignment. But a lot of their stuff is designed one-read pass progressions, especially all the stuff to the back and tight end. And then when you see Tyreek and those guys on those angle routes, I know he threw the one for a pick to the young guy last night. A lot of that's one-read stuff. I don't know why he's looking to the single receiver side here. There's nothing over there. I mean, that's a dead issue. I don't know. I'm not a big Tua fan, so that's public knowledge.
I never have been. That's why I go back to paying guys. And I love Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love a lot more than Tua, and I still wouldn't have paid him after one good year, Shaun. I just think it's too many variables. I need to see some consistency. I just don't know why we. And the crazy part is, Shaun, and Smitty will defend it. But I want to ask Smitty. We pay certain guys, but then there's guys that we don't even give a shot to, and we cut them for string cheese and Chico sticks where we could see, oh, maybe these guys could be the same thing. But we're quick to cut certain guys and quick to pay certain guys. And I'm like, well, if we're going to give this guy so many outs and so many chances, why aren't we doing that with other guys that we've seen, like a Justin Fields? Like I'm waiting on Justin Fields longer than I am on a Tua.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather play with Justin Fields than Tua. And I'm not joking.
Me too.
I'm just telling you, I don't think you can win a championship at the professional level with a guy that's wired like Tua.
No.
They want to be coached passively. They want to be coddled. They think it's okay on a 3-interception night on a Thursday night standalone game to come to the sideline laughing.
Let me ask you to that point. Let me ask you guys. I know it's different, college versus NFL, but we know Nick Saban ain't no soft coach. He's gonna coach your ass up. Why do you guys think he was able to be successful at Bama with a Nick Saban, one of the greatest, right? Who hard nosed, all that, but he gets to the league and it's like he needs to be coddled. I don't understand that.
I think
They're not the same, though. To me, Alabama is an NFL team playing amongst college boys at that time. Look at the talent. Look at the talent at receiver at that time. Look at the talent on defense at that time. Look at the first rounders Alabama was put in the league. Right now, it's an equal playing field. NFL, all those guys, those 22 guys get a paycheck on the first and 15th. They all get a pay. They were all Americans in college, by the way. College, when you're in college at Alabama, you're not playing against NFL first-round guys every day. And so, go ahead.
And don't forget, Jalen Hurts did the grunt work.
Yeah.
He was the one taking them darts.
Yeah.
He was the one, even though they were winning, people were like, boy, if we got a guy that can throw the ball a little better, more consistently. Because Jalen improved when he got to Oklahoma. He's a better passer at Oklahoma.
And what quarterback, Shaun, has Alabama put in the league that's just been like, oh, shit, he's the best we've ever seen? Like, they don't put quarterbacks in the league.
This recent run is the first time.
Yeah, and we don't. But we're looking at it like, is it though? Is it really?
And none of them are really like because before Hurts they didn't have any. They had a bunch of journeymen. Then they went Hurts, Tua, Mac Jones,
McElroys, and all them guys. Like I don't know.
You know, the old Bama, they focused on running the damn ball, so they wasn't even really focused on having I feel like a premier QB. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
I don't know. It's interesting. Shaun, I got to ask you, though, the biggest takeaway from this game, obviously the injury and all that stuff, Tua, like, if you're the coach, though, I don't see a difference. It's similar to Colorado. I do not see a different team out there. You overpaid for Jalen Ramsey, in my opinion, an older corner who's had injuries. You paid him because apparently, to me, you look at your roster and say, well, we're loaded everywhere. We're good to go. Let's pay an older corner this money when you can actually save that money and go get some other pieces that you actually do need. You need some pass rushers, in my opinion. I believe you need a better O-line. I believe you need a couple other issues there. I think they're missing some key situations, some holes. They got some holes to fill in that Miami team, and it starts with the head coach. If you're not preaching physicality and you're not preaching that we need to win on the road in cold weather games that I'm 0-11 in as a quarterback, I don't get what you're doing as a head coach. If you're not trying to get better every year, that team is the same fucking team that left the field last year, in my opinion. Like, that's not no different team. I don't see no different team because they struggled and got a field goal to walk off against Jacksonville, and everybody thought they were all this better team now. I'll turn the switch, Smitty and Shaun. Buffalo, to me, is a less talented team that looks better. Because addition by subtraction, you got rid of a receiver that I think is freed up, Josh Allen, that I've been saying on this show for 7 months. I think you've allowed him to control a rookie in the Keon Coleman kid, where you saw him kind of shine him on last night. He didn't get any I don't think he had a target or a catch or anything. But at least Josh Allen's like, this is my team now. And you're going to buy in or get the fuck out. And now they're running the football with Cook. They're running the football with Cook. They're becoming a more physical team. It's creating more play action opportunities with Josh Allen. It's making Josh Allen act as if he needs to be Patrick Mahomes with a lesser talented outside group. And now I have to play smarter, not turn the ball over in the red zone, and play good defense, which I believe the Bills could be scary, dog. I'm just telling you right now because of the mindset.
It's interesting. I don't know how good Buffalo is because that defense didn't look half as good the week before against the Cardinals. I mean, who kind of going up and down the field on them. But I will say
but break it down, Shaun. Isn't that something that you would say is a good sign if you're a Bills fan?
Yeah, that you want
anyway. We got better from week 1 to week 2.
I was gonna say I think it might illuminate the fact that, as you mentioned, Miami's not actually a better team than they were last year, so still not a relevant contender for anything significant. I will say this for the betting folks out there. I would put a Josh Allen MVP bet in. Because if Buffalo does end up being a double-digit win team, he's going to get all of the credit. Minus Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and the like.
That is true. That is true, man. I want to transition, though, to some another NFL topic. Bengals and Chiefs are playing this week. We know the Bengals got embarrassed last week, losing against the Patriots, and the Chiefs are still chiefing. But Bengals cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt was asked about Chiefs wide receiver, rookie receiver Xavier Worthy on what he brings to the offense, and here was his response.
Xavier Worthy bring to this KC offense that you guys need to be prepared for?
That's about it. He can run straight, run jet sweeps, and just run straight. He can't do too much else, so that's about it. Feel like you put your hands on him. He's only 100-something pounds, so if you put hands on him, you'll stop the speed. So basically, get hands on him.
Do you agree with that? Is that fair? Is it a fair take just saying all he is speed?
Two things can be true.
Where you get that from?
I don't think Xavier Worthy's an elite wide receiver prospect, but I do think Andy Reid is on the Shanahan-McVay level as far as putting guys in a position to play to their strengths. And he has a great idea about how to utilize Xavier Worthy's strengths, and he's a problem because of that. He probably went to one or two, three places where he was going to have a lot of success. So happy for him. But I don't know what Buddy talking about, but Andy Reid putting him in the spot where that speed makes sense. So he definitely got to be accounted for right now in that offense.
That's the main thing, man. Like, you're not just going against Xavier Worthy. You're going against Andy Reid's offense. And you got to think of it like he's the puppeteer, so to speak. He's the guy controlling all the pieces. You're going against Andy Reid, and these are the pieces he has in front of him. You should be afraid, or not afraid, but you should respect what he can do with those pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what's crazy, and I know it ain't all his fault, but hell, 75% of it is. Since he got other issues.
Talk about it.
Talking about
hey guys. Hey,
you
real
good?
Quick,
You good?
Sean. Hey, Jay, Smitty, Shaun, you guys got this. I got to take Whitlock is now live, and okay. I got to do a segment on Whitlock right now. So I'll be going over there real quick, and I'll be back with you guys. But you guys got it, Smitty. And I'll see you guys in a minute.
We good. Tell Whitlock I said what's going on.
Hey, quiet as kept. Joe Burrow ain't been Joe Burrowing lately.
Talk about it. Hey, somebody has to say it.
The truth is, don't have emotions now. I mean, if you're gonna be honest about the ones you dislike, you got to be honest about the ones you like. And I know it wasn't totally his fault. I know the tight end fumbled the ball at the goal line. I know he had a couple big drops where he put the ball right where they're supposed to be. But what happened to the explosiveness in the Bengals offense? I mean, they're damn near just a dink and dunk, play field position kind of team all of a sudden. So, they got to figure some stuff out. And Joe Burrow won't ultimately get blamed if this doesn't get fixed. What is it, Zach Taylor?
Yep, head coach. Yep.
It'll fall on Zach Taylor's shoulders, and he'll be out of there. But, man, Joe Burrow, the last year and a half been rough. And I know he's injured, for some of it, but that shine is dimmed a lot from the Super Bowl performance versus Stafford.
I agree with you, man. I feel like the last few years, like the conversation across big media was that the top three quarterbacks, whatever order, Mahomes number one, but then you got Josh Allen and Burrow kind of fighting for 2 and 3, and it was like no conversation. But now, to your point, when you sit back and look at it, like, I don't know if Burrow can just be tossed in there. I'm not putting him in my top 3 right now, personally, if I'm being honest, because of what you said. Now, we understand injuries probably played a role, but he wasn't, he had some healthy games last year too, and he's supposed to be healthy now, with this first. I know we saw videos of him doing his wrist like that, but he said he's good. So if you say you're good, you're good. If you're on that field, then we deem you as healthy enough to go out there and play. So it'll be interesting to see.
Let me ask you this. Maybe the true evaluation that's occurring is not being identified and therefore not being talked about. Can a Joe Burrow talent, meaning a guy that can throw the ball with anticipation and accuracy, but has no athletic attributes whatsoever, can he succeed in professional football in 2024 and moving forward? If you look at all the top guys, they're all able to extend plays, make the initial pass rusher miss for the most part. Like, I would say Burrow's a lesser athlete than even your Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford types. So to me, this is kind of what's being evaluated.
Right.
Moving forward, can you win with that kind of quarterback? Because to be honest, the defensive linemen are as good as they've ever been in the history of the game of football. I mean, everybody's got 300-plus pound guys that can bend, move, change direction, and are strong as an ox. I mean,
running 4.4s at 320.
Right. So it's interesting. Can a non-athletic quarterback be consistently elite?
That's a great question. But it's funny that the two QBs you brought up were the two names that literally came to my front of my mind. Because when I think about Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, I don't look at them as though, like true premier athletes. Now, Jared can move around a little bit, enough to get the job done. And I would say so can Stafford, at least in the pocket. But I think Burrow in the pocket can move around enough to just, make you respect him enough. But he's not about to go out there and run for too many first downs and really, run out the pocket and extend. So you're right. I mean, in an era where dual threat is kind of the king right now, I am kind of curious to see how this will work or if it will work. Because it's funny, it's like a double-sided sword, right? It's like, okay, a lot of the old school cats don't really appreciate today's quarterbacks because of the fact that they don't throw the ball for 300+ yards and they're not as accurate. They're not throwing the dig routes. It's either they're running the ball 12 times, for first downs, etc. But then you have a guy who's kind of old school in Joe Burrow, and lately he hasn't been successful doing it the quote-unquote old school way either. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, what is the actual solution? What is the answer? I guess time will tell.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. Who was that from the Chiefs? I mean, from the Bengals there?
Cam Taylor Britt.
Yeah, he's from Michigan. He's a Michigan guy, isn't he?
I think so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'll make sure I watch that all 22. See what happened when they motion Kelsey across the formation and Worthy coming at him straight from that slot position.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Andy Reid doing a great job. Great job using Worthy. Because I'm not a Worthy fan.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I didn't watch him a ton of Texas. I saw a couple games, a few highlights. He's a speedster. But like you said, with Andy, I think destination matters. And you pair him with Andy Reid, I think it just makes too much sense. If he landed somewhere else, I don't know if he would be, a true weapon like I project him to be with the Chiefs. So,
let me ask you a question. It's a college-related football question.
Yep.
And all you in the chat room, I want your opinion as well. If you can pick one of these three guys to put a Heisman Trophy wager on, who would it be? Cameron Ward, Jackson Dart, and who was the third guy I was thinking of? I'm drawing a damn blank. Oh, Quinn Ewers. You can pick one of Quinn Ewers, Cameron Ward, or Jackson Dart. And before you dismiss Jackson Dart, dude, he's got more touchdowns and incompletions so far on the years. He's been balling down there with Lane Kiffin. So answer that in the chat. Quinn Ewers, Cameron Ward down at Miami, or Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. If you could pick one of the three to put a Heisman wager on right now, who would it be? I will start with you, Smitty.
Man, that is a tough one. You know what? I think right now I gotta go with Quinn Ewers, man. I think he's just playing at a superior level right now, and I think right now Texas looks like the best team in the country, in my opinion. Now, there's some arguments, of course, Georgia, even Ohio State, even there's other teams, but in my opinion, Texas looks like the best all-around team. And if you are the best player on the best team with their strength of schedule, you put all the pieces of the puzzle together, I think Quinn Ewers will be at the top. Now, I do think Cam Ward is right there. My only concern with him is that I know in past years, one, he can be inconsistent. He's had some games where he's kind of took the foot off the gas or the focus just wasn't there, number one. But then number two, Miami's schedule moving forward is, I'm not going to say easy, but I don't think he's at the same level as I would look at Texas, right? And I think if you, let's say both these guys have similar numbers at the end of the year, you're going to look at where the teams rank, who they played, their big games, how they performed in those big games. And I think I would give the slight edge to Quinn Ewers. That's where I'm at today.
I'm going Cam Ward.
Okay. Why?
Simply because of everything you said. I think he's got the easiest path to undefeated.
I agree.
And for the University of Miami to run the table and be undefeated, I don't care what the schedule is. I mean, right now, it looks like their toughest game might be Georgia Tech.
Some will say. Some will say that.
Florida State's down. Louisville's nothing special. You know, they don't play Clemson in the regular season. They got Ball State, USF coming up back to back. They got a tough little 2-week sled. 2 tough teams. But
Tough team, Shaun.
Here's where I think Cam Ward's talent, though, makes them not completely without fear in those games, but with less fear than in the past. Because he is an elite talent. And in those kind of games when maybe the team ain't as locked in as they should be, not as on top of the details, having an elite player at quarterback can get you across the hump.
True.
So I'm going to go Cam Ward. I think Jackson Dart and Quinn Ewers got tough schedules ahead. As good as Ole Miss and Texas are, I think it's more likely they lose than Miami. So I just think if Cam throws for 4,000 yards, 35-plus touchdowns, runs for close to 10, Miami's undefeated, sitting there top 3 in the country, somewhere Miami hadn't been in years.
Yeah, I don't know the last time.
You got to think the star power that's going to bring out with Miami, too. You're going to have Ray Lewis, Ed Reed.
The playmaker going to be out there. It's going to be all types of stuff.
You're going to have all these Hall of Famers talking putting you up. I think the momentum could end up being there on Cam, so I would go Cam. Let me check out the chat right quick, see what.
I'm seeing a lot of Jalen Milroe in the chat. You think that's just Alabama bias, or you think Milroe could have a realistic shot?
Yeah, Milroe's not even in the conversation.
I'm seeing in the chat.
Shaun, you're just a Ward fan. Why wouldn't I be a Ward fan? And Milroe has no shot, y'all. None.
I'm seeing him a lot, though, right?
Yeah. What is this, full of Bama people?
Right. I'm seeing Milroe. Damn.
Hey, shout out to my boy Brian Case. Ewers is plus 500 right now. Ward is plus 750. And Dart is plus 950. So Ward's right there in the mirror. D. Jones said he'd go Ewers, Dart, Ward.
Let me ask you this. While we're looking, is there any possibility that a non-QB wins this year?
No.
I know we saw it a couple years. Last time we saw it was Devontae Smith, I want to say, right, at Bama when he won the Heisman at receiver. It wasn't that long ago. And I know McMillan's a bad boy right now at receiver. Yeah. You don't see there's no world in which a non-QB wins?
No, none at all. Shout out to Mike Bundy for the super chat. Helmet Smitty, otherwise JB keeps it. Ooh.
What'd he say?
It sounds like he wants you to put your helmet up in the Ball State versus Miami game, or if Ball State loses, JB gets to keep your helmet. It sounds like that's what he's saying.
I ain't doing that bet. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident in my boys, but I'm not doing that bet. I'm sorry.
People saying it's a bye week.
It's gonna be interesting to see, though, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. I do want to move, kind of transition, and you can keep reading the chats for sure. I love doing the fan engagement. It is Friday, man. So Super Chat Friday, man. What was the name you made up for, Shaun, on Fridays?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
What's the name you made up for Fridays?
I'm impacted by CTE right now, man. My concussion is kicking in. I can't remember nothing.
You and me both, man. You and me both, brother.
Hey, if you don't call me a clown, then, man, spell my name right. My name is Shaun.
Come on now.
The time it don't matter is when I'm in line at Starbucks and my coffee ready.
Right.
Get it right, partner.
They don't never spell your name right, do they? Let me ask you this, though, man. Your Tulane, they're taking on Oklahoma on the road this week, man. I would say Tulane should have won, the K-State game. I think you would agree. But let me ask you this. Do you think Tulane could give Oklahoma a tough game? What are your honest thoughts going to this weekend?
Hey, it's like free money. Take Tulane on the money line. Oklahoma is not the Oklahoma of old. They're struggling. They're battling some injuries. They can't consistently run the ball. I think Tulane's going to win outright.
Jeez. So, I don't know. Are you speaking with your heart or your brain right now?
No, man. We got a freshman quarterback, D. Mensa, man. He's legit. We got a nice quarterback, running back, receiver combination. Mario Williams, remember, he's playing Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The SC, he's our number one wideout right now. And we're legit on defense. I don't think Oklahoma's that good. So a lot of this is the fact that I think this is a down Oklahoma team, and it's a really good Tulane team.
Do you see this being like a high-scoring game, low-scoring, defensive type game? Like what is your brain tell you on this?
I don't have a good feel because I think it could play a couple different ways depending on what happens early. I would say a game probably in the 20s.
20s, low scoring, yeah. I can see that too. Hey, shout out to Tulane, man. I ain't got no beef, man. Listen, I ain't got no beef with them.
The State College of Louisiana.
Nah,
we were able to beat SC and LSU couldn't.
I hear you, man. But I know a lot of LSU Tigers who watching this probably would disagree strongly, Shaun, against
Tulane's
that.
favored on a neutral field over LSU in 24.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know. I think from a neutral standpoint, I think I still have to give it to LSU. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I understand your bias for sure. So
hey, I want to ask you a question. I thought we had smart people in the chat, man. Who is all these damn Milroe for Heisman people?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. A lot of Bama fans like
Milroe paying people to come on the JB and Smitty show.
Now there are some cats in here saying that Milroe's overrated and things like that, but I've seen a lot of Milroe. I think people just like Bama a lot, man. That's what it comes down to. Bama is like the Patriots of the NFL of old, or I guess now the Chiefs now. Like a lot of bandwagon Bama fans. They're gonna root for all Bama. We do got some super chat money and some question right here. Shaun, how would you develop an athletic QB? From Mike Bundy. Good question from Mike Bundy.
It depends on what offense we're running. But if you're just talking just me tutoring a quarterback, the first thing we're going to do is handicap him. I'm going to take away what makes him great when I train him, which is athleticism. And I'm going to just make him utilize throwing the ball as a weapon. And the way you do that is I got some PVC pipe I put around the kid. So when he's throwing 7-on-7, when we're throwing routes on there, he can't float left or right. He's got to stay right there in a vertical position behind the center. Everything I do will be about ball location, timing, anticipation, just those kind of things. I put reminders in his head, see a little, see a lot, see a lot, see a little, teaching him how to really hone in on the key things to look at, aim small, miss small, make every throw count, all those kind of things. Just little things you could do for young guys to teach them that athleticism is an extra gift. Don't let it be the foundation of what makes you a really good quarterback.
That's real, man. And staying on the topic of quarterback, I think it's the perfect transition, man. I don't know if you saw this, but St. Louis University High School QB Kyron Ellaby doesn't look like the typical high school quarterback, man. The guy is 6'2", 285 pounds. We got a video showing him a picture.
I've been playing quarterback since I was 5. When COVID hit, that's when I put on a lot of weight, but I still stuck with it. My brothers played it, I'm play it, and I'm good at it.
He's a big fella, but he's a big fella who can move. And we're glad he's on our side, and I was really happy that not only he got that game winner on Friday, but he got the game winner on the ground.
Yeah, they got to go real low, so, I mean, he's not easy to tackle.
It kind of scares the defenders. Like, they see me back there, and they see me run at them. They don't really want to tackle me, so it's kind of an advantage for me.
We were playing up in Chicago week 1, and they hit him low, and he's like, Coach, they're hitting me low. I'm like, buddy, I would.
Even the teachers Friday night, they said when they heard I played quarterback, they didn't believe me, but then they saw me on the field, and, like, my talent speaks for itself.
What I like.
Hey, throwing it around a little bit. He's running around. You speak about athletic QBs, man. What are your thoughts on the 6'2", 285-pound quarterback being mobile, throwing that ball around? You think he had a real shot at the next level? Talk to me.
Hey, man, that's the black Jared Lorenzen, right?
Yeah, exactly. Literally what it is.
Jeez.
That's a big boy, right?
He looks just like Jared Lorenzen, right?
He looks just identical. I wish we had a damn side-by-side picture. That would have been crazy. But that's a big boy, ain't it? That's a big boy playing the QB position. At high school, it can work because you're just bigger than everybody. You just run them over.
Lorenzen was the quarterback at UK, right?
Yeah. Was it UK? Let me see. I believe so.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance, is what you're saying, right?
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, look at
I mean, man. You think most of the position is played from the shotgun. Yep. So you alleviate the having to get back from center and create separation and transition your weight. So, a huge advantage, if you're already 6-7 yards, behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, why not? He looked like he threw the ball pretty decently.
Right. And plus, and realistically, he probably cut down about 20 pounds, if he goes to college, right? Get down to 265, 260. So he's still a big dude, but a little bit more lean. Now we're in that Ben Roethlisberger world. You know what I'm saying?
Me and him both. Maybe I'll go work out with him.
Hey, you are the QB whisperer. That's what I heard. So, having you there will be helpful. Man.
Where the hell is JB?
So he left our show to go to Whitlock's show.
Man, tell JB how the hell he going to guest appearance out of his own show.
Crazy, right? Listen, before you hopped on, I got on him.
I got on him. Poison he got going on.
Whitlock must be giving him that bag. He must be giving him that bag. But he did say he was coming back though, so I'm sure he'll be back here in a couple minutes.
Hey, they want to attack Deion. They better get security.
I love it, man. I love it. Shaun, let me ask you this, man. Kind of, transition a little bit here to the NFL world. Daniel Jones says he's been doubted for a long time. It was a video of him getting booed. I don't know if you guys saw as well walking into the stadium, but check this out.
I was leaving the stadium.
How do you work on that mental toughness?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been doubted plenty for a long time and dealt with that time and time again and done a good job with it. So I think my mental toughness is in a good spot, and I'm not concerned about that.
What's going on with his eyes, though? Before we break down like his play and all that, like you ever notice Daniel Jones' eye? He's very alert at all times. Like this video isn't as bad as previous ones, but he just always got this certain look, especially on the football field, like he high or something. Am I tripping?
Daniel Jones needs professional help.
Okay,
he's got trauma. Like I'm just telling you, and this is me being 100% serious, and I think Deshaun Watson is in the same boat. Man, when people talk about you ad nauseum, like they have talked about Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson, that has an impact on you over a period of time. Like Daniel Jones, you talk about getting booed. He waited to 3 hours after the game to leave the stadium in the hopes that all the fans would have already left. And guess what? They were more committed than he was to booing his butt after the first game. He walked out of that thing 3 hours after the game was over. And they were still there.
Hey, he said they were more committed than Daniel Jones. That's a damn shame, ain't it? He can't win in nothing, Shaun. He can't win in his exit strategy, on the field, off the field. Like, damn, Daniel.
Like, Smitty, I have this belief that the elite quarterbacks in the NFL have bulletproof emotions. And here's what I mean by that. They don't get too high that they lose control. They don't get too low that they lose confidence. Daniel Jones gets too low. He loses his confidence. You can look at it. The minute something goes wrong, the body language drops, the eyes go to darting around. He's kind of got that bewildered look on his face. He gets indecisive. That's trauma.
Yeah.
The too high that you lose control is Will Levis. Will Levis will throw a comeback on the first series and come to the sideline like Sunshine from one of the movies. Like, he hands all in his hair. He yelling at everybody, come on, you like that? And then he's going to go back out there and throw a pick six, for no reason to the Bears. Yeah, this is him. This is 3 hours after the game.
Hey, I need $1 million. I need $1 million. I need $1 million, Daniel. I need $1 million, Danny. I need $1 million. Give me a. You suck.
I'm like getting like secondhand. Like, is it embarrassment or is it cringe? Is it? I just feel uncomfortable, Shaun.
It's trauma. Like, I'm telling you, as a professional athlete, you think you're invincible. The National Football League is the only professional platform where you only play once a week. So when you have a bad game, they have 6 days to eviscerate, tear down, rip apart everything about you that you think is well and good. And when it happens over and over and over again, you've heard me talk about this a little bit with Lamar Jackson. Sometimes I can see him trying to disprove the criticism in how he plays.
Right. Throw when he should run.
Right. Yeah. Like you hear it. It impacts you. I would tell Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones, go get some professional help. And I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying it in the most organically healthy avenue possible because I think they need it. Man, it's hard in this human form. Like everybody that's in the chat that has a job. And this isn't like the Tua, I'm seeking comfort. Right. Coach Flores, don't yell at me. I'm not talking about that level. I'm talking about years. I mean, Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones been getting criticized for years.
And obviously Deshaun Watson, he got a lot of shit going on even off the field.
Off the field, on the field, it still impacts you, it affects you.
Do you think, focusing on Daniel Jones real quick though, So you think it's all mental, or do you believe he has the actual skill set and capability to be out there and be a legit good NFL quarterback? I know he had one good season.
He's one of the most top 10 athletic quarterbacks in the NFL.
Athletic, yes.
Yeah. He has the arm talent. He's one of those kids, man. I don't think football was ever life or death for him. I don't think football was ever like the only opportunity he had, like to elevate himself and his family. Like, he seems like a very critical thinker that's always had other options available to him. He just happened to be pretty good at this thing called football. I don't think he even processes information the same as most, athletes. Went to Duke, so obviously academically, he's on the top tier. But I think it's impacting him now. It's affecting him because nobody wants to be just talked about all the damn time. It's okay to end up at the card game and, you had a bad week. Shannon Sharpe, you at the poker game. You got to take that. But for it to be every week, and then he got paid on top of it, so that's even more criticism.
Speaking of Shannon Sharpe,
oh God,
I don't think because it happened in the middle of the week. So I'm glad you brought. I don't think we was able to get your take on the situation. I'm assuming you've seen or heard the video at this point. That's your NFL brethren. You know what I'm saying? Just what was your reaction when you saw this thing trending online?
It was intentional.
You think so?
Man, come on, man. You know how hard it is to go live on IG?
Extremely.
Yeah, it's not like it's just a butt dial and you could, mistakenly swipe or hit a button. Like, you got to actively be trying to go on IG Live.
So hold on, you think Shannon Sharpe, who works at ESPN on First Take on the biggest show ratings wise, he said, you know what? I'm about to do something to go viral again. He got Club Station, the biggest podcast out. He got Nightcap, but he's one of the biggest. He on the number one show. You think Shannon Sharpe needs more clout, more than anything? Like, he's already popular.
Yeah, because I think it was more geared towards the branding and marketing of Nightcap.
To blow that up.
Mm-hmm.
To get all three of his platforms at the top. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, come on, man. Look at it, man. So, first of all, the video is less than 2 minutes, and it encompasses the whole encounter. So, first of all, come on, Shannon.
Shannon on Nightcap, he claimed that it was a 20-minute situation, and we only saw the last couple minutes, allegedly.
Right. Yeah,
allegedly.
There's too much going on in that, man.
Hold on real quick. Not to cut you off, but Mike Bunny just sent us a C-Note for C-Note Fridays.
I know that's right, baby. Shout out to Mike B.
So I'm putting that helmet back on for the C-Note Friday. Shout out to Mike Bunny, man. Chirp. We about to shot the world this weekend against the U. But real quick, here is my take.
Let me say this about the Shannon Sharpe thing.
Go ahead.
I don't want anybody to lose their job. I'm not for that. It shows the hypocrisy at ESPN, though.
I know you about to say.
If they don't like you, man, they will try and use anything that you do to run you out of town. If they like you, they'll turn their head on the most egregious behavior ever. I ain't gonna put no names in it.
Don't put no names on. Don't put no names on it.
The hypocrisy over there is just laughable.
I know you talking about though. That's my. It is hypocrisy, man. It's also like what they deem you valuable as for their company, right? I mean, Shannon's popping right now in general, so like it would be a loss for ESPN to let him go, in my opinion. So they're like, you know what? They're having fun with it. He owned it. I just tried to put it under the rug and keep it moving. Listen, I'm with you. There's no way to accidentally go live. I just don't think Shannon did it. I think the woman did it, in my opinion. That was my I think the woman did it, as a way to, like, I don't know if she was trying to blackmail him or something. I don't know.
She didn't do it without his consent. Like, she might have been the one that hit the live and put the phone down. Like, come on, but he knew what was popping.
But Shaun, when us men are having fun and we're in that position, we're not like
who's playing with their phone.
She had women are manipulative, Shaun.
Hey, listen,
she came in there with a mindset. She's, I'm gonna distract him with this Gawk 3000. She was under the cover, warming him up, getting him ready for the actual full dinner. And while she was giving him that snatch, he had the phone to the side. While she had his piece in her, and she on the phone, went live through the phone, and they kept going.
So you're sensationalizing this, but let me put some truth back into it. Shannon claims this was 20 minutes into the encounter, right?
Yeah, that's what we said
So
on Nightcap, allegedly.
So all security mechanisms on your phone have been activated at that point. So what? She got his passcode, his fingerprint, his face ID. Like, come on, man. None of it make it make sense, man.
It sounds like she been around. Like, this might be like his main. Like, she might have been around for a while. She might know,
like,
you know,
it was staged. It sounded like it was planned. It might have even been even been okayed by ESPN. Like, listen, we about to do a prop. It's an extreme prop, but nobody's gonna get hurt. I mean, see, come on, man. I don't believe none of that flim-flammery.
ESPN gave him the green light.
Right.
Nah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
Shout
man,
out to
who knows?
Man, living like the one thing I do respect about Unc, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, he is unapologetically him.
Yeah.
Whether it be the cognac, you know, whether it be the verbiage, the Black and Miles, you know, the wave cap, you know, I do like that he hadn't completely like just sold out as far as how he was raised and who he really is at his core.
Got you. Nah, I respect that for sure, man. Shout out to Shannon Sharpe, man. Like, whether it was staged or not, it helped his business out. Put it like that. Followers, subscribers, money. I saw he sold out some shirts that he made right after the situation happened. So
now I ain't with him on the clothes thing. It closed too tight. I don't told him that to his face.
You don't like the clothes?
Nah, man, he too tight, man. Come on.
You ain't rocking the orange crossover bag with the tight band?
There's a age threshold when it comes to the clothes.
What's the cutoff? Like, what's that number where once you get to this age, you got to stop?
Every male over 40 right now, you didn't grow up like that. Yeah, you didn't grow up like that. That's a new Gen Z thing, man.
Yeah, that's like Bailey generation. My generation, we didn't grow up like that either. I grew up with the bag. I actually was opposite. I grew up with the baggy clothes generation. Like, you know, the Nellies and them put the Band-Aid on the face, big ass pants, big ass. I grew up with tall tees, Shaun. I used to go to the mall, go to the store, get 5 tees for $20, every color: white, black, blue, red, and green.
We call them the A-Rap for $6.99 from the corner store, baby.
Corner store, yeah.
7X. Yeah, that's what we rocking. Hey, we do got a public service announcement that we need to make, and it involves Bailey. We need to get Bailey security for the 0 to 60 or 0 to 30 show?
Why is that?
Because, I mean, my man be putting Bailey in some uncomfortable situations, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, my man going off on JB, and Bailey's sitting there like, God damn, Eminem.
They didn't know what to do. Yeah.
When you come to those situations, Darnell, you probably dealt with this more than anybody. You just let it happen, brother. You know exactly how it is.
Hey, baby, was sitting there like, this fool trying to get me fired.
I mean, it is what it is, bro. You just, yeah,
hey,
you let it happen.
Hey, Bailey got a lot of pride walking around that CFL shirt on, boy. If they could relegate NFL team, the Panthers would be gone.
Man, you know where you can get this $20 at the dang Dick's Sporting Goods outlet down the street, man. That's why I rock it, because it's cheap.
Cheap and affordable.
Yeah, nice and clean.
That.
You know.
Bailey's best in the business, man.
Yeah, shout out to Bailey, man.
This is ridiculous.
Keep the engine rolling.
I
knew when Baby said he'd be back, Shaun, I knew he wasn't gonna come back. Whitlock was gonna hold him hostage for a long time. He gonna do that. He gonna hop back on right when the show ends. Like, my fault is what it is. But man.
Off, it looks really strange. It looks really.
Who said that? I ain't gonna lie. You know what's crazy, Shaun? I ain't really wore a helmet in a long time, obviously. So like, you don't notice if. That's a little tight. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You don't notice how, like, beyond the physical part of the game of football, the pads and the helmet and everything, like, this shit is uncomfortable. But we got so used to this wearing it because it was an everyday thing. We did it, but it's extremely uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
My face hurt right now. So I
put mine on the other day. I was like, oh no.
And we used to wear this thing for hours, Shaun, and hit people and run, and like, that's crazy.
Try getting in full uniform. It's like, wow.
And Shaun, that's why I always say basketball players think that just because they're great athletes, they can just translate and come play the game. I'm like, listen, it's way more than just being an athlete, y'all. Like, it's just you got to have a mindset of just being able to go through hell and be okay with it. Not just be okay with it, you got to learn to love it. and like the way we practice, the rigor we go through in that field, but like little stuff like putting a helmet on. I challenge everybody in this chat. If you got a helmet, you got access to a football helmet, put it on and just put it on for 30 minutes and just sit there and tell me how uncomfortable it feels.
Do this. This is what I challenge people to do. Put a helmet on and actually buckle it up, and then go out to the park with your homeboys and run a couple routes and catch the ball when they throw it to you.
And see how you feel. And then come back and talk to us and tell us that football is easy. Come on, man. I'm with you, man. Hey, well, Shaun, man, we're going to close out with some hell yeah, hell no, and let you go. I know you've been on here for a long time. I definitely appreciate you, especially with JB saying F the show and leaving it. So I'm going to start with this, man. Hell yeah, hell no, brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to Prize Picks right now and put your bets in for the football weekend, college football, NFL, and everything in between. But hell yeah or hell no, Colorado will take out Colorado State in Cavs Stadium in Fort Collins this weekend. Hell yeah, hell no.
I'm kind of hesitant on this because I don't know enough about Colorado State.
Okay, that's fair.
I think Colorado is vulnerable, but I'm going to go.
It's hard to read, right? Because Colorado State got blown out against a Texas team that might be the best in the country. So it's kind of like, okay.
Texas. Yeah, I'm going to go hell no, simply because this is the kind of game where Colorado will out-athlete Colorado State in space just enough to win the game. I don't know if it'll be a tight game or I don't think it'll be a game that they win big, but they'll find a way to win this one.
So just for clarity, because your phone kind of went out a little bit, you're saying Colorado will win?
Yes, Colorado will win.
Colorado will win. Gotcha. Okay, so look, well,
Buffaloes,
I agree.
The Buffaloes will win. Yeah.
The Buffaloes will win. I agree. Hell yeah, I got Colorado. They will take out Colorado State. Now, I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it's going to be one of those high-scoring games, very competitive, similar to what we saw last year. It's been a lot of trash talk already from Colorado State side, so I think it's going to be a really good game. Hell yeah or hell no, UNLV will take out Kansas tonight.
I'm going hell yeah. And this line is saying the complete opposite. The line is saying that Kansas is about to mollywop UNLV tonight. But I'm going UNLV, man. I think what Barry Odom has built there and what Brendan Marion is doing on offense is legit. And I watched this team play. They're physical and they're fast. And I think they're going to Kansas and win outright. I really do.
Man. When the odds are so heavily favored on one side, like it makes me nervous to go against them. I'm gonna say hell no. I think the game will be tighter than what they're expecting and projecting, but I think Kansas is a serious team, as Steve Kim likes to use that phrase all the time. I think they're a serious team. I respect UNLV. I don't think it'll be enough, man. I got to go with Kansas getting a W on this one. All right, next one. Hell yeah or hell no. Going to the NFL. Derek Carr and the Saints will beat the Cowboys on the road on Sunday. Hell yeah, hell no.
Hell no. No.
You don't think the Saints are for real? Did you see Derek Carr last week? Light it up?
I got to see it against a competent NFL team. I'm not giving no credit for beating the Panthers.
Yeah, I feel anybody beats the Panthers this season, like that game don't even count. Like, it just like, you got to just do that. That's what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to say hell no, but I do like Derek Carr. I know JB's off him. He thinks he doesn't have heart and all this stuff, but
yeah, I'm not a Derek Carr fan.
I got the Cowboys winning. Okay, next we got two more. Hell yeah or hell no. Sam Darnold and the Vikings will upset the 49ers at home.
So this is an interesting one because I'm going to give JB credit. Sam Darnold played really good in week 1, but if I'm not going to give Carr credit for beating the Panthers, I can't give Darnold credit for beating the Giants. So I'm going to go hell no. San Francisco gets it done.
Okay, got you. And just for clarity, I might have said that weird. The Vikings are at home. But I'm with you. I respect Darnold for what he did. And listen, Darnold's super talented. We've been known that. It's just that, again, mental, he just kind of, hasn't been all the way there. So I'll be interested to see how he performs against his old team. He was just with them last season, right? Familiar with the defense and the scheme. So that could help him out. But I gotta say hell no. I think the Niners are still the Niners. And they as much as Sam knows them, they know who he is too. So last one though for you, Shaun. Hell yeah or hell no. Of course, Betty puts this in. The Packers will beat my Colts without Jordan Love this weekend. Hell yeah, hell no.
Hell no, man. Listen, I love the black quarterback, man. Malik Willis, oh my God. I can't believe Green Bay got themselves in a situation where that's actually Jordan Love's backup.
They never thought Jordan was gonna go down, though. You know what I'm saying? You never really think that for real. And there's only so many QBs out here, though. But hell no, y'all know I'm right with the coach, man. We lost against a really good Texas team. Oh, go ahead, go.
Berlanga versus Canelo. Hell no, Berlanga shocks the world.
Hell no. Like, and when I say hell on this one, hell is coming from like the lowest point of like from my chest. Like, hell no. Ain't no way in hell. I put my life on this. Canelo's winning this fight. And he will do it in a easy fashion, Shaun. Shaun, please don't put on money on Berlanga, Shaun. Please do not waste your money on Berlanga.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm not.
Lord, jeez, you had me nervous.
Watch as a fan.
You had me nervous, man.
Right,
and chat,
man,
make sure I know we got bettors in the chat. Make sure y'all do the same. Put your money on Canelo to win this easily. And then also, last one, UFC. We got some UFC fans. Sean O'Malley is fighting this weekend against, I think it's Merab Devashili. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Apologies for that. But I'm putting my money on Sean O'Malley. He's one of the best in the business, a knockout artist. I think he's probably the best boxer within the UFC. So I would say, man, you got to go with there. I don't know what happened to Shaun there. He might have lost signal. I know his connection was a little weird, but shout out to Shaun for staying with us the entire way. JB, I'm going to cuss your ass out as soon as I get in touch with you. He jumped on Whitlock's show. You better be on that show promoting this show. And everybody in this chat, man, I want to say, y'all have a beautiful, blessed weekend. Thank y'all for showing up and showing out. Once again, we had like close to 2,000 people in here. It was our second highest day of the week. And y'all know Monday we coming back strong, man. We're going to have NFL, college football, fights, so much to talk about. So make sure you tell a friend that this is the best sports show on the internet, man. Send it to your group chat. Tell all your buddies to join. And if you haven't already, subscribe, become a member. JB and I will be in the Discord all weekend, and we're going to be at Winnable. So make sure you go to winnable.com/slappicks to get all of our bettings, all of our bets, and also exclusive content. We don't just put bets on there. We put behind-the-scenes content at the Cigar Lounge as well. So here go the slap dick. No, show over now. We ain't show over. We got shit to do. I got a meeting in 5 minutes. You lied to us. Shaun disappointed in you. The chat disappointed in you. Bay disappointed in you. And most importantly, your co-host, I'm disappointed in you. So I hope it was worth leaving us, going to another show, live doing your show, JB.
Hey, you saw we had more live than Whitlock.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But then it had more live when I left here because they all followed me over
It went down a little bit naturally, of course, because you're promoting another show that you got JB fans who want to go see you, but we still stayed over 1,300 the whole entire time without JB in the show. So they know what's the best show on the internet. So that's what it is. But JB, I'm done talking to you. The show's over. You came here late. Shaun left. I don't care nothing about what you're saying. Chat, appreciate y'all sending in all that money. Mike Bunny sent in $1,000 earlier. I'm gonna take all of that. Appreciate you. And see y'all again on Monday, man. Big Smitty.
Issues get pressed so fast you don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing.